I was looking at the scoreboard, so
Don't worry about
I missed it.
Dren, what is he up to? He's still running around the spawn. I think they dropped him some utility and he can't find it. Either way, Olaf's already up toward Banana. It'll slow things down. They'll settle into a default off the back of that. Plenty with just the Deagle to work with. And better or worse for Zeus. He doesn't have the range, but he certainly could try and mow them down if they work up. And the fact that he's got the CZ. Interesting decision to leave both pistols alone on B at this point as well. You'd think that a rifle, at least one, would be there, considering it's such a tight choke point.
This round is still in contention. Na'Vi actually quite the fighting chance considering they have 3 rifles. No kits, and again, struggling utility becoming a bit of a headline here on the CT side for them. They will have 2 players positioned in towards B. That is going to be Flamey and Zeus, of course. Rain towards Boiler Room, Adren in the apartments once more. We've seen this approach a few times now, just showing a little bit towards the apartments before they head back towards B. A Molotov towards a pit, a flashbang out just to bait out some utility and deny them having so much of the retake. Right now, if all 5 players of FaZe make their way through towards B, they'll only find 2 players there, but rotations are coming through. This should be a Molotov towards the emo position, the back right. Any boost player on half wall there. 30 seconds remain. They don't really have much of a say to fall back, but I say that, Rain actually has full mid control, so they could go for a slight execution here, keep those 4 players locked in towards B, and then send everyone in towards the A side very quickly. It's going to come down to the timings here. You can see how much interest in the CTs there are here. You've got to assume with 15 seconds remaining, this is the final play, but it's not.
Brilliant maneuver. It's absolutely sold it. They've sent them all over toward B. The only one left at the side of the site is Edward, but he nearly got away with it. If he'd slid out and found the second, dropped the bomb down, that would have been it. Nico wouldn't have had time to plant. There was no way to recover.
Perfectly done by FaZe. The fact they give themselves enough time to counter for that initial pick from Edward there. They trade out the kill, still 6 seconds remaining. Sure, that's scary, but they plant the bomb. It all comes together, and you have 4 players on the B side there. That is really quite impressive. It was so convincing. Na'Vi just didn't have the resources to think otherwise. He had 4 players there. You got Molotov smokes, flashbangs coming in. You got to give it a go. It was just a very well called round there from FaZe. It's going to be 7-2 in their favor on the T side of Inferno here. Adren finding 2 kills once again, just to note that.
6-2, it grows larger yet again for FaZe. 2 AK saved. CTs have at least been getting guns carried over. The problem is that even though now we're up to such a massive wealth of the bonus, 7 rounds in a row, they can't do much with it. This time they'll get the AWPs back out, but it's every second round CT at best.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do they go double? They can in this situation.
I don't think so. We'll have a look.
I think there's an AK down, so there's a second AK carried over, so it should be single op and an AK.
Simple 2-7. Zeus is 1-9. It's the frag in that's already falling apart at this point. Simple unable to show us what he's made of on this map, and that could cause some frustration. He might overcommit to some positions at this stage, but for now, looks towards the end of pass, nothing there, and focusing towards second mid, but not as aggressive as you'd expect. Oh, no. That's more like it. Zeus will get these. Second frag of the game. Can he get out safely, though?
It's quite clever to follow the Molotov down as well, because Nico, he couldn't snuff the wicked time. It's immediately him gone. Zeus gets the kill. Flamey, he follows it up. Olaf's gone. A change of pace from Na'Vi, and it's over toward B. It works out brilliantly. Bomb still down, bottom T stairs. Guardian will call for Adren to rotate back over in support. The op naturally waits toward the arch side. Minute to work with. They could certainly try and counterpick this. Guardian, we talk about it often, is the best T-sided op on Inferno. Not an easy role to have. I mean, it's not like you're presenting kills anymore. It's not often you see that mid-peak to stairs where they get there first. They've got to go aggressive, and it's exactly that. Flamey down. No rite of passage as of yet because Simple's already on rotation, but he's considering the possibility that this is a ruse. Zeus goes back sight. Simple's going to play this presumably from CT. Smoke down, though, he's going to have to rotate all the way around to the coffins.
40 seconds remain. FaZe don't have to commit to this. They're right back in this round now. Zeus will throw a flashbang. They're going to get in a decent position, trying to buy space and time for Simple at this stage, and he gets caught out. Can Zeus buy multiple frags? It's all falling apart. This was a 5 versus 3. All of a sudden, it tips on its head, and it's now Na'Vi on the back foot. Adren, nice little off angle here. You're not going to preempt this, and he'll take down Edward, no problem whatsoever. It's electronic, left with absolutely nothing to work with here. 1 AK, no positional control, and he'll just have to push through the smoke and hope for the best here. That is a nightmare for Na'Vi, Matt.
That's excruciating as well, because finally they had guns again. The op from Simple, it was on rotation, double smoke down. He's still 2-8. He still hasn't got anything going. FaZe are just running with Inferno. Anticlimactic so far at best, as Electronic gets Rain at very least, but what's that for at this point? Consolation for what? Because they know exactly where he is. Adren's already on him. You can hear Adren, that's fine. But without, to be fair, without Flamey's pistol ace, which ultimately bailed them out of that round as well, this is a 9-0 game T-side Inferno.
5-on-3, and that's the kind of play I'm talking about with Simple. Yes, he's trying to back up his teammate there, but he goes through the smoke, and there's no flashbang down, there's no incendiary in front. He goes down to quite a relatively easy kill, and then Zeus is left isolated, who isn't performing right now, and he was unable to get more than his opening frag of the round. A double orb setup comes in. This is the Hail Mary play from Na'Vi right now. You can see Yanko preempting this. He knows something's afoot. Na'Vi are desperate at this point. They can afford 2 AWPs. Flamey has been performing well with the secondary sniper, but is it enough? Simple just doesn't look himself right now. He hasn't barely had any impact whatsoever. 2 and 8. They'll purchase up everything they can. More out of desperation than a strategized affair. We'll see what they can do. Zeus had dropped the AWP. Does he only have the USB for this round now? Because of that, surely he has a drop waiting for him. We'll see. Do or die time now for Na'Vi. Need to step up. There is an AUG for him, so the buy is not too bad, all things considered. That's because the CTs keep saving AKs over and over again. Sure, they're not finding round victories, but they're giving themselves a fighting chance here. And still, it's going to be a difficult one.
Desperate times, double up for Flamey. He's going to hold it. So he's playing passively. He's going to fall back to a position where he can actually flash Flamey in, or at least get him out of the situation. But interestingly, he's actually going to rotate. He's not that far down Banana. It's not like they've had information, and it has been a problem for them.
Well, at least they've got strong numbers towards A now. They're not going to have a weak B and a weak A. Flamey with the AWP at least can get information, but that's designed to push him back. You can see now he might struggle and call for Zeus to rotate back through CT spawn. It's exactly what's happening here. Flamey with a nice idea though, but it is very committed. Will he fire off the shot? Not quite. He's going to fall back to the safety of the side for now.
Smoking off Zeus inside of it. Doesn't want to extend beyond, but it's Olaf that's alone at this point. He's trying to cause chaos, trying to lock them onto the B site. Doesn't want to leave them with the option to rotate. Zeus has read the fact that it was only a single AK firing. He's actually going to get towards CT. They give up Arch momentarily because Edward will play in conjunction with him. The smoke's still down on that side. It's not like they can really justify going through yet. Instead, it's just going to hold mid wall. Work it with Guardian on the bomb toward the A site aggressively, but correctly. And Simple still lurks inside with the AWP. Nico around. It's Edward impressively with a UMP at that range that finds the headshot first. Opening kill. Simple's following it up. Now he's rolling as Adren drops. And Zeus still holds. There's no one over toward B. They've not fallen off of it. They haven't come up with an alternative motive in this round. It's still with 15 seconds, all or nothing on the A site. They can justify going late because they've got money. Rain, he's gonna go. They're gonna feel like Noah on an overcast day because the rain won't stop. He's swinging through. Simple finds one, but finally it's turned around. Simple shuts down Rain, and it is 8-3.
Felt like it was gonna happen again. The advantage found there for Na'Vi almost comes to a crashing halt, but they start to find some unified kills. They're going to get together and find those crossfires we're looking for on the A site. It's Simple, stuck in the corner of the AWP, but finally something to deliver now. That's much more like it. As you see him holding his position. This is a shot that really seals the deal there. Lovely work towards Rain, who's on an absolute tear. It's round 12, and Na'Vi might be on their feet at this stage. You can see what it means to Simple, as we'll have the 3 rifles and the double orbs once again.
That's the start, though. There's still a long way to go. 3 in that round. It's certainly what he needs to get motivated. And the double op once more. Flamey finds Olaf this time. A little more aggression on him than the last round, however. And Flamey seems to welcome it. In a position where Guardian can certainly see him. I wouldn't have been surprised at all if Guardian was able to locate him on the backside of the wall after the jump, but he elected to fall off the logs and threw his own aim off. He still tagged him. He's got him. He's on a 44. And he's gonna look for another angle. He's got him. Follow up. Flamey down. He was hit, but he's on to 11, Guardian, and that's good enough for Nico. He'll take it. He'll open it up, and Molotov's to clear his angle. Look inside of the sights. Take the fight. Zeus down.
So surprised with Flamey's play, but you got the opening pick. You've been tagged as well. Just fall back. Maintain the advantage. It's all going to come falling apart here as Edward does what he can, but it's a 3 versus 1. Electronic couldn't be further away at this stage. He's in towards the pits on the A side of the map. They've got no chance. They had the advantage again, but overstaying their welcome there. Flamey, once he gets hit, has to get back and play off his teammate there, because you see Zeus, he is not ready to go in a 1v3 against FaZe right now. He's barely part of the fight. He's getting mowed down every time he swings out, so he needs to play with the teammate at the back of the cyber. maybe feeling he's got too much responsibility and has to fight a little bit more because the teammates aren't posting the numbers they need. And that's a harsh reset for the CTs now. They'll get $1,400 per player on the side of Na'Vi. Electronic will save an AK once again, or will he? You can see Rain's going for another hunt. He's getting a ton of frags at this point. 10 for Rain so far. And it's up to Electronic. If he saves the AK, there might be something to say about the next round, but this won't be enough cash to justify a full investment. We'll see what they're left with. It goes 9-3 now. In favor of FaZe and their T side of Inferno. So it's turning into a bit of a brawl here. We're seeing a lot of aggressive peaks and some success, but that was a point Flamey had to get out there before he was dropped, and Edward got one. Wasn't enough. B side open, round done. Well, they're taking a pause here, though. Top of the charts is going to be Flamey with 3,700. Simple 1,800, and they are going to take the eco from what I can see. Simple fully invests, okay. A last-minute decision by him. He goes 5-7, helmet and a smoke. I guess they need a miracle at this stage. This might be a...
Dren going again toward the apartments. They've slowed the pace considerably. It's not like they're assuming they could just get in there for free, and knowing up against pistols, it's likely that someone has pushed up. Again, one on Rain. There was an option to swing for two because they were looking down the hallway, but the kill to Rain now gives Dren all the access that he needs. 3 inside the hallways, presumably. You know how this will go. It's explosive, aggressive, and first and foremost, take down Zeus.
4 bullets left in that PT-50. Has to fall back here, but Zeus does have a chance to cause a little bit of damage here, but there's the Molotov to take vision away from him. CT's focusing towards middle, but Guardian very patiently will hold the angle, drops Flamey, and they've got a 5 versus 3. Electronic has left the B side open, no one there whatsoever. And this is looking like another guaranteed round for the international roster here. FaZe will help themselves to an open B side.
Yeah, take back any struggles they had in the group stage. They've rectified those, it seems, over the 3 or 4 days off. This looks excellent so far. And we thought Inferno might be the 3rd map in this series. Not that it would be Dust 2. We thought Dust 2 would actually be the pick from FaZe. So this is pretty impressive by them. It's caught Na'Vi off absolutely.
They weren't ready for this, and remember, they won the pistols. It's not they got a bad start, they actually had the dream start. They got 2-0. They went into that 3rd round, yes, with unfortunate circumstances, had a couple players in MP9s, but that wasn't really the catalyst to their demise here on the CT side. They will be holding on to the AK. Pretty much have to at this point. Electronic's going to have to drop for them going forward as he holds toward the underpass. He doesn't have to find kills here, but I guess he wants to find his teammates and have a rifle to take to the next round. It's a nice shot. Doesn't get them anything.
Yeah, very little to work with. So this operation's been abandoned once again. Just sit back, try and gain guns. Electronic has the AK. They won't get much more than that, unfortunately. Even that single kill doesn't yield anything because they held the bottom of the banana. Zeus tries to fire in, rather optimistically, if I'm honest. And it's double digits, T-side, FaZe. Spectacular start. Remember, this was the lineup in part. Obviously, Kerrigan has since departed very recently and Adren's come in, but this was the international lineup that was built with one goal and one goal only, and that was to win a major, to give Nico the major, to make sure that they dominated, and then Astralis seemingly took that storyline from them, and they've fallen shy time and time again.
We talked about that complexity game at the start of this broadcast, and we said that it was Nico that really kind of stood up towards the end of Dust 2 especially. He's currently 3-8. It's his teammates who have all got 10 or 11 kills between the 4 of them, so they're stepping up. He doesn't have to do that much. He's calling a great game right now. He's seeing some great mid-round calls with the FaZe coming in. It's looks like a great effort overall. They've got double digits and maybe a bit more on the T side of Inferno. That's pretty unheard of at this level. As we'll see now, the CT scramble to pick up another round, but this is a nice, fast adaptation from FaZe. It's going to be throwing in a bit of a different approach as they go very, very fast towards the end of the apartment, but the CT's finally showing us they can keep up as Electronic will find his 2nd frag of the round. It's a 4 versus 1, and Nico's all the way in towards B, but he'll be dropped by Flamey as well.
First time we've seen the AUGs really prevalent on the CT side, just based on money. Obviously, they were waiting to get the double up out. They saved the number of AKs. Finally, they work for them, and they get 4 on the boards. Back to the point as well about FaZe, before even the acquisition of Olaf and Guardian, when they still had Alu and Kia, they're no stranger to this stage. Absolutely. They were the favorites against Astralis 2 years ago in this final, and they lost. It was a grueling series that went the distance, and Astralis walked away with that one as well.
Looking to prove themselves here. It was a rocky road towards the playoffs, but they're here now and looking incredibly sharp. Final round as we get into number 15 here. CTs with the AWP once again. Simple has 6 kills, 11 deaths. Not the performance he's looking for, absolutely not, but maybe he can change things up here as he holds towards B. He'll be happy to actually stay in his position now. We saw Flamey hold the same angle before. Will Simple get a bit more luck?
They're just waiting it out. Flame's already down, Edward. Deploys the smoke. Molotov down Cubby and the front of the arch. So Edward forced to fall back, as we can see on the X-ray.
Now if they can get this round, 10-5, win the pistol in the second, might be a conversation to be had, but this one slips by. I'm not sure Na'Vi will have enough to actually push forward. As Rain again has been so deadly on this T side. That AK-47 finally showing us what it's capable of. As now he looks for his second kill up against Zeus, takes a bit of damage, decides to fall back. Wise move.
But they've hatched another plan when the first fell through because it's simple. Over toward B. He falls back after the first, he's alone. Slipshot Cavalier, he tries to peek it again, and he will. He absolutely will. Half human, half machine, looking straight through the lens. Simple finds a round again. Na'Vi on 5.
He wakes up in the final round there, just in time to save the day. 10-5 might seem like a scary scoreline, but they can do this now. It's enough, just about enough here on their CT side. We'll see if they can do it after this break. Do not go anywhere.
FaZe start off brilliantly, I have to say, inside of the Spodek. Our first semifinal of the Intel Extreme Masters here in Katowice for 2019. It's not necessarily the game we expected. That said, Na'Vi's certainly shown signs of struggle, But on the CT side, winning a pistol, only getting 5 rounds total.
It's not ideal, but certainly recoverable. The main telling from that first half, I feel like, was the star players on either side didn't turn. We've got Nico, 3 kills, and Simple was right down there at 5 towards the end until he had that great showing on the last round. But it's all to play for still. If Na'Vi can pull this round together, they can certainly start thinking about getting 3 rounds on the board and then see what happens after that.
And Nico, that's a talking point. I mean, this seems to be the perceived solution to all the issues, to all of his pride, you could say. I mean, the fact that he's no longer getting kills is an issue in itself, right? If he wants to win game lead, if they think that's the answer, he still needs to perform because he is the 3rd best player of 2018. He's been on everyone's radar for so long. The fact they're winning is, yeah, absolutely, that's spectacular, but it still is cause for concern.
It's going to be the big execution here. All 5 players for Na'Vi have to go in now. Smoke towards Spawn and Coffins, but the CT's ready for that. They'll be jumping on top of the Coffins now and seeing if they can get the first kill. But what a response that is. Look at the perfectly thrown smoke. That's going to cause absolute chaos here as Na'Vi commit now.
Dren just waiting for it, just dancing back and forth. Wants to figure out the side they'll enter into. Baits them to Nico, but Nico gone. It's now all onto it, Dren. So proficient with the pistol, but you know who is? A man who got an ace last time. He's got 2. He got the only 2 for Na'Vi so far, Flamey. As the bomb gets planted inside of B, Olaf's going to take the long rotation, the flank from behind. Zeus is watching it. And it's Guardian that wants Rain to work with him so he can get in from Ruin, so he can take some of the attention away. Zeus gave it up. Zeus thought he'd cleared Banana. He hadn't. Olaf was in behind the wall. They're going to think that's wide open, but now they realize with the other kills, they've all turned around. Flamey's looking for double ace in the pistol. Double ace in the pistol! Both of them! 10 kills, 2 pistols, 2 rounds for Na'Vi.
I've never seen that before, ever. Back-to-back aces and pistol rounds. Flamey is worth his weight in gold right now. It was the only real talking point they had in the first half as they had such a convincing pistol, and they've done it again in the second. I can't believe it. Is that enough? CTs are going to force buy in the second round. It can be a very strong approach here with the CZ. The smoke's treated like a gun round. And you can see if Na'Vi will crumble at all. They've been given a lifeline back into this game. Molotov towards the top of B, trying to slow down the aggressive push towards that side of the map. There's actually 3 CT players waiting on the other side of the flames. Electronic flashed off, need to be very careful here, but luckily the rifles will prevail so far. Lots of damage done on the T side.
He goes back around, he will get 1. Deagle, Zeus was low. Couldn't respond though, they weren't quite ready. Stuck inside of the cubby, Simple didn't get a return angle with the AK, and a smoke now down for Rain. He'll fall off of things. You know who owns? Nico. He's got the up-close pistols, so switch it out. Let them bait each other in.
This is scary for Na'Vi now. You got 2 players low, even lower now. Edward down to 22. Electronic, great shot towards Nico. That might save things.
Edward holds off on Olaf as well. They converted the last pistol. That looks more fancy than really it was. He just fired through and knew where he was, but it's nonetheless a kill again, so it's going to cost them a bit of money. They did survive the anti-eco in the last half as well. This time with a force buy coming out from the CTs, it could amount to more. It was 2 rounds only. This time we could look toward 3 potentially for Na'Vi, and if we do that from 5 rounds, we get to 10-8. That's a 2-round spread. It's absolutely a wide open game.
Absolutely, and it is going to be FaZe giving this round up. Rain with 2 kills in the round, the only 2 they got. You can see Edward and Simple, they're walking wounded right now. They can't really do much at this stage, but Rain hungry for another frag here potentially. Remember, it's $600 per kill with the SMG he currently has. Problem with low HP himself, might just want to consider saving it. Not really worth going down, at least for the UMP. He can drop his deagle. They'll have a little bit of firepower. Probably not enough to win the round, but it's something. As he needs to be very careful here. Just going to be holding on to the UMP. But the looks of things, down to 43. He will survive. And Na'Vi, more importantly, they will as well. They managed to negate the force by a FaZe clan there. It was looking so touch and go, but some nice shots from Electronic. Fall back towards A and take down the solo player waiting on the other side of the map. Na'Vi are on for 3 in a row here. So the deal presumably dropped. That's going to go in the hands of Nico. Rain will keep his UMP. They have a smoke as well. So it's not a full eco, but not much better than that.
It's really not. Guardian already tagged as well by a nade. Doesn't have armor, so it was quite a distance from him, but nonetheless still put him down to 71. They'll hold from middle on the T side, and Edward will follow up the nade. That one was a massive amount of damage. 71, I just said. That nade just absolutely erased him.
He's gone now, but not forgotten.
I was going to say, we'll remember him. We'll keep him in our thoughts.
Edward, though, starting to warm up into this series, but here comes Nico. There's one man you don't want to start finding headshots like that. Unbelievable scene. Surely he's done at this stage. Electronic takes him down, but still a chance for a Dren here, but he's taken the 57 HP.
Wanted to get the gun. Importantly as well, there's a smoke down that was on that corpse. If he hadn't been able to pick up that, it would have been more dissuasive toward the B side. He would have just been able to hold off that extra little bit. The fact that they've actually fallen back off of it, he's got the smoke. He's gone anyway. Simple finds him, building up yet more kills for him. He sits now just to note on 11, so is starting to get his feet moving.
That's what they need.
Flamey tops the leaderboard, not surprisingly, but it's only 17 when you consider he got 10 in 2 rounds.
Yep, good point. Olaf can still win this, by the way. It's not impossible.
Well, I've gone directly toward him. They haven't gone back over to B where it was open, and he was well aware of it, but they cleared it systematically, all 3 in bomb. Just for the extra money, goes down in the hands of Simple, and as mentioned, we are now at that 2-round game.
They absolutely are. There's Nico showing us what he's capable of. Round 19. Remember, this is a very CT-sided map, so it's still quite the advantage for FaZe. They finally will put together a decent amount of resources. They've got the double orb set up in the hands of Nico and Guardian. There's 1 kit available, so they want to get a couple of rounds on the board before they're fully equipped here, but Na'Vi looking to continue their streak as they head towards B once again. More than happy to challenge it. It's one of the calling cards of Na'Vi. They'll always be at the top of Banana, nading, pushing through. Normally Zeus leading the charge, but this time it's Simple as he tries to nade off Nico here. Push him off the angle, but doesn't do too much damage with that Molotov. He gains some access. I'll try to boost it up as they do officially have Banana control with 1 minute 30 left on the clock. So great real estate picked up.
Spodek comes to life. What an absolute privilege it is to be in this building for all of us, for everyone. Shot down Electronic. He'll open it up. It's Nico, the man with the pistol last time. That's gone already. And Electronic, he's going to go in. He's already through smoke. I don't even think oh, and Dren is aware. He's heard him. Gets behind the pillar just enough. Not quite as the M4 finds one, but it's Zeus to return. So, man, you'd love to get trades in every situation. Surely. It builds him up just a bit. Smoke down.
They should save at this point. I think they're going to. They still have the lead. They don't have to win this round. If a Dren gets 2, they probably go for it. But a 4 versus 3, we've got the AWP on the retake as well. There's potentially more smokes and Molotovs to come through. Just take the round. And it's going to be Na'Vi finding their 4th now in the second half. It's going to be 10-9. This would be absolutely astonishing if they can pull it right back for a 10-5 deficit on their CT side. It's Guardian, Olaf, and Rain holding on to the weaponry they have, and a decent amount of kit as well. You can see Olaf Meister have all the grenades as he falls back. So the round is guaranteed at this stage. It's up to Simple just to clear out the ruins and make sure everything's taken care of. Nice position from Rain. That's going to get him a kill at least. And still find Flamey. Wants to drop down now. He knows he's a prime target for the terrorist forces. And they'll huddle up on the bomb site here, deny any sort of access. But Na'Vi, they win the round and keep 3 players up as well. Does Edward commit to this? Will he go down? He survives. So 3 survive on either side of the equation. It's FaZe losing their lead as it goes 10-9. And they do have enough to buy into this, but that could be a problem going forward if they keep forcing around these sort of situations.
We might have a small technical. I will say I applaud Valve. Something interesting's happened in the game. They won't be able to see it in the audience, but Olaf's left, and it put bot Olaf in the game. So yeah, it's actually putting a bot in for their name now, which is kind of a cheeky little touch, but we'll get things back underway, certainly.
One thing I wanted to point out was when Simple was on the CT side there, he said in the pre-game interview, he feels like if he dies early on in the round, it's going to be very difficult for them to pick the round up in future. If he goes down early, he feels like he maybe can't take the same risk he's usually presenting at the start of each round. It seemed like a very caged game so far. I haven't seen any unbelievable moments from him, and just punishing the opposition, showing that lack of respect. He's almost being jolted around the map there. You can see FaZe giving the game plan to present lots of fakes and lots of changes at the last second with 15 seconds remaining, rotating back to the other bomb site here just to make sure that he's nothing to do with the situation. He knows he needs to be part of it when they finally commit, and he's taken his teammates' information, and it's so far so good for FaZe in that department. But Simple, 11 kills now, looking a lot stronger. We'll see if round number 20 is where he can really show us what he can do on Inferno, as Guardian has stole the show in the first half. It's like Olaf is back on the server now, so we'll be back underway momentarily. Na'Vi 1 round away from tying this one up. Inferno used to be a bit of a specialist map for them. Not as powerful these days, but still strong in their map pool.
Yeah, it certainly is. I keep in mind as well for FaZe, there used to be a bit of stubbornness within this map pool where Nico was bringing out a double op, and it... Not that he's... Look, he's capable of everything in any situation, but unfortunately in that one, it seemed like he was almost being a little bit too aggressive at times with the op on B, and it cost them more than it gained, so... That's something to look out for if he goes for it, because he just gets caught off so much. He's forced off the new box. If they can overwhelm him, they can certainly exploit that. It's a French philosopher, Henry, who once said, the preoccupation with possession, more than anything else, is what keeps us from living freely and nobly. And if he gets too preoccupied on that op, perhaps he will be prevented from living freely and nobly.
Perhaps. Time will tell, Matthew. It's very profound thoughts. We'll see if it's going to be enough there as we get into round 20. Guardian. Waiting for the initial grenades to come through. It's simple, holds a T steps for anyone to challenge him. CT's not going to be going for that initial control by looks of things. They'll hold it at the top, and they're not pushing right down. It's Nico, the M4, at this juncture. We'll see him working with Dren is going to be the new combination that's allowing them to win that side of the map. You're absolutely right. It was a B side of this CT half. There was always a bit of a letdown for them when the double orbs came out. It felt like he couldn't perform the same level he could with the rifle.
Yeah, it seemed like stylistically he wanted to play aggressive and take repeats as if he had a rifle, and he couldn't. He couldn't get the spray downs. He was getting overwhelmed. He was getting caught out too often.
One thing we should point out, just before we get into that FaZe are not using a single AUG on their CT side right now. They've got all M4s along with the AW.
It's actually a very good point, because it's been quite vocal from Nico on social media that he does not like the weapon. He does not want it in the game. It's quite like Scream. And you know what? Cool. That's fine. You may not like it, but to quote more philosophy and quote Darwin, it's not the strongest nor the smartest who survives. It's those who adapt. And if you can't adapt to it, you're just not going to survive at this level. So bring out the AUG might be the answer. We'll see if that's what haunts them. Within one, this great start they've had, slowly falling away, and Simple on the repeat from the half wall. He's going to find Nico through the smoke. Again, aggressive. Rain's forced out. Remember, they already found a Dren on this side, but Rain, he knows exactly how smoke clouds work. He fires through them always, and he gets 2 kills. Edward, he will at least get 1 back, but Flamey's cut off, and they know he's alone in the site now. Alone, but aggressive, and look how relaxed he is. Yeah, all right, I know you're coming. Let's see who wins the fight. He's got to hold the angle. He's got to wait for them to go. And if they try and trade this together, it is an op for Guardian. That could certainly be a problem for them. It's not going to be. Olaf gets it instead.
Finally, the first round on the board there for FaZe in their CT campaign. It comes down to the 2 versus 1, but they handle it very well indeed. Edward maybe had to be a little bit more dramatic there as hold. It was a pretty common position. Olafmeister comes in and pre-fires him there. You're right, though. If Olaf did go down, the trade of the orb was going to be very difficult, but they stuck together. I'm sure Guardian could have handled that as they get into round number 21. It's 11-9 overall, this time in favor of FaZe. That would have been 10-10. There's Rain, though. He's put on such a show today. Really impressive performance. It was a slow finish to 2018 for him. But on his feet now for sure. AK's out in full force for Nartis Vincere. They have all the grenades they need. They did win 4 rounds in a row on the T side, so they're comfortable for a couple more.
Double Molotov, one thrown from either side. They've passed each other in the air. Oh no, they're gonna push through it, Dren. Great timing. That's a change of play. You wanna talk about the B side? Sure. You can talk about the fact that Kerrigan was there with Nico. Now you've got a Dren. That's a change in itself. And sure, you could argue who's got more firepower. I'd probably lean toward a Dren. Lean toward Kerrigan naturally for tactics, but it's just even changing a person. If they're the same in every way, they're gonna be slightly different in their positioning at the very least. And that could be enough to catch teams off. Rain falls off the box, he has to. Lost his vision. Guardian has not. He's not lost his nerve either. Inside the site, tight position behind the boxes, and he's going to look for it again. Nearly so hyper-focused that he shot toward his teammate, but it's Olaf that stands tall inside of the pit, 2 to find. Bomb down on the balcony, and really nothing to do for Electronics. So FaZe regaining the ground, starting to get the momentum sailing on the CT side as well as they get to 12.
Na'Vi changing the pace completely for round number 21 there. This time focusing their efforts towards the A side of the map. You can see the smokes down. Not completely though. Looks like they're missing a smoke grenade towards that pit position. Either they were just focusing towards a broken wall position, but Olafmeister either way had an open shooting gallery at that stage. Na'Vi were hoping maybe 3 players went towards the B side of the map. They could get in towards A very quickly and just completely shut down the economy of FaZe at the reset. It doesn't happen. And now they are going to buy into this round, but there's certainly going to be compromises. They'll take the tactical timeout. It's their third so far of this game. This is the best of 3, remember. The first map, though, indicative as to where it'll go. We thought it was FaZe running away with this, but Na'Vi showing their Inferno is still very strong indeed on the T side. Win both pistols, courtesy to back-to-back aces from Flamey and pistol rounds. I don't think I've ever cast that in my life. I've never seen it before.
I've seen back-to-back aces in back-to-back rounds, but not in 2 pistols specifically.
Exactly.
That's insane, to be honest. Like, especially because it's not like he had the USP on for all 5 on the other side. He started with a Glock.
Yep. Pretty unreal. They end up losing this game, and that's what the start they had on either half. They'll be gutted, but still, Flamey, very impressive stuff. Zeus, as we mentioned, commonly found towards the bottom of Banana, and this time Guardian will be boosted on the pallets. For that first kill, not going to get it. Helps to fall back. This is a huge round here. Not only will FaZe find the 13th round, they'll shut down the money as Zeus starts to burn. He's at 14 HP. He's going down for sure. He somehow sneaks away. 1 bullet would have dropped him there, but he does survive for now. Only got the CZ. Still a 5 on 5.
Flash. Nico off the angle. Admittingly, he'll go back out and look for more. So the smokes off the one in the pit they want to find. Edward very vocal. He's calling timings, it seems. They're going to work off of him. He wants them to get him out of the boiler. He wants the shallow smoke so he can peek. Is there enough of a gap? Well, Arch side, simple goes. It's rather optimistic at times. They've taken advantage of that. The fact that he sprayed in so aggressively, that's Rain's invitation to go back to the company, because if they thought it was clear, it's not OHP.
Oh,
he
what?
ran out of ammo. He couldn't find it. Zeus got out. The spray got wild. And it is Na'Vi gone wild inside of the site, because bombs should be planted momentarily. It's picked up again by Edward. Guardian still toward Moto. It's a double op retake as well. This could be a huge problem. 2 kits. Nico doesn't have one. Guardian and Adren do. And Adren is on the move from top middle. They'll come from all approach, all angles. Guardian even going back to clear to make sure that no one got behind him in library.
Yeah, this is way too tentative now. They might consider this not going for this at all, but still, there's plenty of time left on the bomb. It's just a double AWP on the retake that scares me for them. It's a 3-on-3, but Zeus somehow still alive in this round, gets his second. He was taken down to 14 HP at the start, but goes on to win 2 more duels. And that's surely the round victory for Na'Vi now. As a sneaker trying to lock them in on the bomb site. Electronic will be found by Adren, and still valuable kills here. They kill absolutely everyone. Sure, Na'Vi take the round victory, but FaZe will still be thinking they can take this in the next round. They've really hindered the money going forward.
Absolutely. It's only 2 rounds they won in a row, remember, so their money isn't great either. But yes, you're absolutely right. Na'Vi's isn't going to be at all. So they'll buy into this, and if they lose now, you give FaZe 13 rounds +1. I say +1, it's a hypothesis, in theory, right? We're hypothesizing that they would then win the anti-eco, presumably.
Well, we get into round 23. And the reason, the significance of the double AWP there is because that is not a close-range weapon. You cannot be nimble with it. You can't be agile. So yes, it's great for getting the opening picks, but if you don't get those, you have to walk into the bombs of the AWP. Chances are the rifles or even the pistols will have the advantage. So whenever we see that sort of setup in a 3v3 like that, you're always saying, well, they might as well consider saving this point, because unless you get some sort of miraculous sequence come through, it's unlikely you actually win this round. As we will take a tactical timeout. This time it's for FaZe. See Yanko riling up the troops. Guardian still has his AWP. Adren has the AK-47. This could decide the outcome of the game here. If this goes 13-10, it's double eco territory for Na'Vi, and they don't have the time to do that. So they'll bring together Galils and AKs. Remember, after losing all 5 players the previous round, yes, they won it courtesy of the bomb explosion, but that's only $3,500 per player going to the next round. Zeus with UMP, Edward and Flamey with Galils, just so they have a little bit of utility going forward here. Very difficult round for them. Can they do anything with it?
Flash high, Zeus. He'll swing off of it just to check. Doesn't actually go all the way around. Double nade. The first one actually bounced into Cubby. Didn't do anything to him. The second one certainly left more than just a scratch.
We should note as well, this is actually FaZe's picking the best of 3. We move on to Mirage next, which is Na'Vi's. But if you're Na'Vi right now, that map pool is actually looking very good for you.
Well, this is the other thing. There is a slight caveat on that. Yes, this looks great. You're in this game. Mirage is absolutely their choice. We know Simple loves it. Dust 2, we saw these guys in London now 3 weeks ago. It's crazy how fast time flies. In the shape-up event for this, it was a showcase event, 4 teams only. They actually didn't win it. North did. And the reason for that is because they said they've been working Dust 2. They brought it into the best of 3 in that series. They lost it, and then Nuke was next, and it left them with little options. So sometimes that happens. You bring in a new map, and it just falls a little short. So that's the 3rd map. We'll see if it shows that they've been working on it still. That's if we even get that far. Nico behind Nubox. He'll flash himself off, but it's Zeus that gets through the smokes and finds 2 on the UMP. Rain has to back away already. That reset we talked about might not be happening.
I don't think the CTs even go for this now. That's Zeus getting on top of the first orange. You can jump up there yourself, and he found 2 players on entry with the UMP of all the weapons. That's the one that does it. He picks up an AK-47 now. What a brilliant round from him. He managed to get 2 kills in the round they won previously as well to actually get them access towards the A side. Now he cracks open B as well, showing us that he still has the moves to cause a massive amount of impact there. Fantastic work. It will be a 5-on-3, and Rain, Guardian, Olof have no choice but to save their weaponry. They're running low on cash now as well. That's just blown this game wide open. If FaZe won that round with a clean sweep, that would have been it. For me, that was GG. But Na'Vi, they're the ones that don't drop a single player, and they're hunting for a bit more here as well. They know they're isolated in the pit. They're going to flash in and let Simple at him.
Rain's got him, though. Certainly ready for that, standing on top of the bike. Goes off, but the round gone, low HP. Can't really justify going too far for this. Flamey gets 1 back. Certainly they want to keep the op up. Zeus holds on to it, and Olaf gets away with the only gun. Na'Vi is inching at them. They're all over it at this point.
Well, this stage, it's FaZe. They kept 3 players up there. It would have been fantastic. They actually dropped 2 and only 1 survives. They can't really force this one. They're going to have to take it on the chin and allow an eco to slip by here. But that's Na'Vi tying things up at 12-12 on FaZe's map pick. This is pretty remarkable. I wasn't sure Na'Vi had it in them after the 10-5 deficit they received in the first. I didn't think their T-side would be strong enough, but happy to be proven wrong, and this is looking fantastic now as Simple and Electronic go toe-to-toe with 4 members of FaZe towards the banana area. They then drop a single player. It's only Flame who goes down towards the A side. It's a great work from them, and we have tied the scoreline up completely, and I believe FaZe, they can buy this. They've got about 4.5K per player, so they have enough to buy. And it's going to be far from ideal. Lovely work from Electronic there. Big Glil just mows through players about to careful up. Round 25 comes in. Rifles only on the CT side. No AWP for Guardian.
He's going to the AUG instead. 2 AUGs, 3 M4s again. Nico, he's going to use that weapon. So too Olaf. Can't teach an old dog new tricks. Nico's not that old. Olaf's getting up there. That's the crazy part of this life cycle that we're in esports. Zeus gets damage inflicted upon him. So too does Nico, for that matter, though. He's on 68. Flash up. Nico caught. Back around in time, but Zeus was also blind. Couldn't peek it. There was a kill available to them if Zeus was more aware of the flash coming over the top. Simple gonna be the one to try and open up the site. He'll make sure they don't retake banana, that's for sure. Just hold it off at this point in time. And a Molotov down, they might. He knows exactly what that Molotov means. The flash hinders his plans. Smart to hold. They won't go for the boost yet. Wouldn't surprise me at all if we saw Simple get elevated up onto the half wall, but he's actually elected to fall off it completely. He's at the bottom side of the banana. Bit of hesitation. Flamey's not really doing much toward the top side of A.
Notice that Adren and Nico, the players defending B, have no grenades between them. Defend off a full execution here. I say full, but it will just be the smoke towards CT spawn. It doesn't seem to be affecting them too much. It's going to be a back to 4 straight, as now Zeus once again finding success upon the entries. The bomb's going down. Is this where Na'Vi take the lead?
Zeus is absolutely convinced of it. It might be. After the half we saw, they only won 2 gun rounds.
He was at 3 kills, I think, at the end of the half.
Absolutely, and again, I guess it was 3 gun rounds, but 10-5 at half on the CT side after A pistol start. Yeah, this is incredible turnaround. And again, we were sitting here thinking, hey, FaZe were geniuses. They brought out Inferno. Well, now you start to question why, because it's now 13-12 in favor of Na'Vi. 4 players staying alive again on their side. It's going to be only Guardian, saving an AUG and Olaf so far that are alive with the M4, and that should end that way. There's not really much aggression toward their positions. Edward isn't going to quite be able to make contact onto Olaf.
There we have it. Na'Vi will actually take the lead at this point on their T side, 13-12. Money is in the proverbial bin as well for FaZe. They don't really have enough to work with here. They got $3,000 per player. They do have saved rifles, so maybe they'll be persuaded to invest into this round, but that's when you start to open Pandora's box officially at that point. If you keep force buying and not getting much return on it, you can sabotage your own finances. You might just be better off taking the full eco here, seeing what the 2 rifles can do, and look to close things out in an efficient manner with the full buys here. But this is what these timeouts are for. Everyone will discuss their ideas, have their input and what they want to do here. It's not looking too good, though, on the FaZe side of the equation as Na'Vi home in on 14 rounds.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, this is exactly what they had to try and address. His leadership issues. Nico, just to point out, sits on 9, bottom of the table. Not where you'd expect to find him. Sure, superstars across the board for FaZe, but not at all where you'd expect to find him. So quick dilation is the only chance they'll have left. Timeout's over, put it into action. Guardian, he'll hold toward the top side of Banana. AUG in hand, still waiting. The AWP, he's got to remember to hold the button down, not click once with that scope up in front of him.
See what Guardian can do here, completely flash. Nice sequence from Na'Vi that obtains information and real estate there. They've found out the Guardian, the saved rifles towards the B side of the map. They've pushed him right back here. They might potentially bait out some grenades as well as they throw a flash over. And they're going to fall back towards the A side of the map. It will be Nico and Olaf there with the M4 to defend. So still a slight chance there as Edward will be throwing the Molotov in towards quad. Opts for his teammate to do it instead. Olaf is in one of those positions where he can go very, very well or horribly wrong courtesy of one flashbang here. We'll see which way it goes for him now.
Nico holds off PT50. Quite get it done. Flamey showed some excellent patience to tap away with the AK and not get overcommitted to a spray in that situation. Off screen, Simple found Olaf. And Electronic, he'll walk around. I don't know if he can check it. I was kind of thinking he was a little careless in that situation. But it doesn't matter because bomb goes down on the A site. Not really much that FaZe can do. So Na'Vi find 14. Again, timeout was called this round. Oftentimes you'll see it called out on a gun round, but see if they carry it over. See if they had some discussion about how to change it. We certainly saw a change on round 15 from Na'Vi that got them their 5th round by putting Simple solo anchor AWP on B. It might have to be something of that characteristic, something aggressive that's going to catch them off.
Still time though, not much of it, but it's there. This was an eco from FaZe. They'll have everything they need in the next round, especially these 2 rifles make it forward. But it's Na'Vi turning it around completely. 10-5.5 against him, and now they'll find themselves 14-12 in favor on the T side of Inferno. Pretty remarkable scenes here. It's FaZe with all to play for, but they made the correct decision, in my opinion at least, to take a more conservative approach there, allow the orbs to come out now and close this out with style. But Zeus is really feeling it. The calls are all coming together. He's hitting his shots. He's having massive amounts of impact upon entry. As we go to round number 27, Na'Vi, with the win in their sails, will they purchase up the AWP once again? They absolutely do. Simple's got that. Up against Nico and Guardian. Remember, that's always been a bit of a talking point. Nico's not fragging this game up before more comfortable with the AWP. He's carrying 9 and 19. Quarterfinals here, pressure is on. And they'll send 3 towards B at the start. Simple receives a few grenades here. The Flames won't touch it.
Oh, well though. And touched very inappropriately by Nico's nade. Nico's got a follow-up as well. Electronic down 2 for him in the rounds. 1 by way of bullet on the AWP, and it's Electronic and Simple that'll watch from the sidelines. It'll still be a round at hand, even if they don't convert this. 5 in a row. Be reset potential. So every gun down certainly helps. Edward's shoulder peek toward the A site. That didn't go well for him. Rain didn't quite see the They're coming in through the smoke as
Okay,
Flamey was there, but yeah, Zeus on the AWP, how often do you see that?
He just took down Nico in a one-on-one duel as well. That's remarkable. Gets the AK at this stage.
That's also remarkable. Switches out an op for an AK. Who else would do that? Gets the op pick and then says, yeah, I'll take the rifle.
Yeah, well, he tried to cause some damage there. Almost got the second. Not going to work out for him. It's Edward with his 4 HP. Looks like he's going to save. 35 seconds. Quite an agonizing one. We get sort of time to dissect that round. It was Nico joined by 2 teammates there. They went for the grenade stack towards logs. That's where Simple resided. And at that point as well, he jumps up on the barrels, gets the second kill, and funnels them back towards middle, where Adren can start chiming in as well. Lovely work from FaZe. Not out of this just yet to be 14-13. That's locked in. Edward looking like he was going to save. He actually recovers the bomb and wants to make something of this. He can't plant at this point, so just seeing if anyone goes hunting for him. He needs to be careful. He needs to survive after the round timer expires or he gets no cash, but he still has 5k residual. He will survive either way. There's Yanko congratulating Nico on a very successful round. Needs to make sure he keeps his head in the game. Round 28 now. He's still in the lead, 14-13.
One round, as I say, though, with the most important part of that lead in that one round is that they have a now 5-round reset that they could apply to FaZe. If they win this here, in this round, they go 15, and there'll be no guns for FaZe at all. So they have a chance to ultimately win it in this round. Likewise, they themselves got some money carried over. Simple's got an op in the pocket. Edward would too after this round, so they'll be able to buy again. Then it gets quite desperate because you're tied up in the same situation to be flipped upon their head. Electronic starts it off. That's exactly what they want. Adren gets caught out outside of the flames, and Nico's tag going back into the site. They couldn't quite get enough damage onto him. He stays with 67 in the round, as Simple now will hold off. Quick check behind the bags by Zeus, and leaves Simple to his own devices, I think.
So they have 5 players up against 4. Flamey currently holding the A apartments, or any sort of reaction down towards middle, or a push towards the ult mid position. They've got a minute remaining here. Does Flamey want to suggest they're coming back towards A with a bit of utility? Still has a smoke and Molotov here. They don't have to commit towards B, but question marks starting to appear as the CTs have lost a lot of information. You can see at the B site, no intel, no one at the barrels. Same story towards A, but now they've put Guardian position towards Quad. At least we'll have some idea as to what's going on here. As Na'Vi make their way back towards the A side, the full commitment coming in here now. It'll be a 5-on-2 in terms of manpower, as Olaf Meister and Guardian have to fend them off.
Guardian's looking short as well. He's not actually watching above him. He's going to rely on Olaf for that information. And 3 will flood this site. Guardian smartly transitions back, because if he was left on the steps, he'd have a problem. He doesn't now. He's got 2, a third as well. He finds Simple, but is that enough? All his hard work, it may come undone. Bomb still gets planted, and it's the 2 rotating players from B that arrive and have to save it for FaZe. Again, reset if this round doesn't go their way. Kits for both, AKs to work with, and a single flash.
Rain is there with the flashbang. Nico joins him. It's such a difficult retake here. The terrorists have such a massive advantage. The Molotov comes in. That's going to segregate them now. It's Rain that has to deliver. He goes down, and that's going to be it. That surely is the reset now. CT's winning the previous round, and losing this one means they get $1,400 per player in the next round. Na'Vi have found map points, and Nico with no choice but to save the AK-47. Guardian and all his heroics there towards the A site. It looked so good. It seemed like it was enough, but still, it's Zeus and Edward who will be claiming the round there. A difficult clutch, and it was testing even the strongest of players. Guardian, you thought that was enough, man. He's got to be gutted with that one.
Spectacular shots, no question about it. Stunning inside of the site, but again, it just wasn't enough. The bomb got planted. They got so overwhelmed, and the other 2 couldn't get anything done.
Remarkable scenes here. Tactical timeout by FaZe. They'll have to buy everything they possibly can here. We can have a look at a sneak peek, if you will. A UMP in the hands of Rain. It's not as bad as you might think. Nico still has the AK. He drops one weapon over. That's Guardian on the AUG. But Olaf Meister has to go in the shotgun. They now need 2 rounds in a row to take us to overtime. This is the pick of FaZe. Losing this one will be a disastrous affair. And they have to dig deep now and see what's available to them. Will they go for aggression here? Will they try and isolate one part of the map and challenge Zeus, who's been so prevalent towards the banana area? They've certainly got the skill on this team to make this round work, but Na'Vi really looking quite strong now.
Super strong at this point. What a turnaround as well. And I mean, I guess we've seen a bit of both teams in this series, and by that I mean both sides of both teams. We've seen ups and downs, poor CT sides on both fronts. Certainly the issues with Nico being on the in-game leading role, I certainly still bring that up. I think that's absolutely a problem for them. I think that's something they need to address. And Na'Vi with a slow start, Simple turns things around last round of the half, and then they get moving, they get motivated. Zeus, I have to say, as you pointed it out, great second half. 4 kills, he's now up to 12, he's keeping up with everyone, but it's the trades. It's his ability to be irrelevant in the rounds.
I'm not worried about the number of frags for him, it's the fact he's having such impact with those frags. The few he's got in the second half have actually led to significant round victories that has broken the back of FaZe. This one, though, this is where it could all end. As Guardian goes down very early on, Simple and Zeus wrapping around. It's a shotgun and pit. They don't stand a chance here. Rain left of just an SMG. Surely can't get a second. It looks like we're done here in the first map. Nico left in a 4 versus 1.
And he's no bouquet, he's just a rose. And so much work to do. Rose has a few thorns on it. He'll find the first on Electronic, but Flamey now knows where he is. Na'Vi will steal the map away. 16-13, they take FaZe's choice. They take the first in the series, the first in the Sputnik, and a quarterfinal half done.
That is outstanding from Na'Vi. Yes, they win both pistols, but they're on the back foot there. Their first half, the CT side, it looked weak. It looked like FaZe had full control. Every member was turning up, I guess, apart from Nico in that first half. But then they get their pistol ace again in the second, and it all goes horribly wrong as FaZe can't keep up. Their money is sabotaged, and Simple starts delivering sequences like this. An entertaining way to kick things off, Matt. We've got Mirage coming up next. Surely FaZe will have to do a lot more than this. It's a little bit disappointing what we've seen so far.
Well, we'll see if they can. Mirage is next for Na'Vi. It's their choice. It's their game. It's their series to lose. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
A tale of T-sides, our very first map of the quarterfinals. We venture to the Spodek, and a fantastic turnout from everyone here. International attendance at an all-time high, and you can feel that everyone is hot in anticipation for more. Yes, the tale of T-sides, it was indeed 10 rounds for both sides, or more, of course, Na'Vi clinching it with the 11th, and my goodness, it is going to be an honor to talk about it with Sponge and Pimp back on the desk. Guys, first things first, Flamey with some flaming hot Cheetos play.
Yeah, the aces in back-to-back pistol rounds is insane, right? The fact that he was able to do that built the platform for Na'Vi to be able to win this. He won both pistol rounds, and then they went and converted the following, which is 4 rounds in the bag, right? That's a big haul just off the back of Flamey. So fantastic stuff to him. But when we were on that T side, Zeus, I think he made some really good calls, and he actually made some really, really good plays. That round 22, I think that was the swing round there where, look, they all died, but they were able to get the round on the board. It forced FaZe into a really awkward position. I think that was the one that really broke the camel's back, but I actually think they could have more rounds, Alex. I think Na'Vi could have won this a lot more convincingly.
And you were saying the same, Jacob, and I think you've loaded a reason perhaps we can to show where those rounds could have come from.
Yeah, because FaZe were doing a good job, especially on the T side, playing from behind. This is round 9, where we can just start out the clip. Na'Vi actually gets a good starter into the round. They get 2 kills towards the banana area. First, Nico goes down, and in a second, Olafmeister will go down in a smoke as well. So you're in a 5 versus 3 situation now, a very favorable situation for Na'Vi. Now, for some reason, Na'Vi decides to play it and jeopardize it a little bit. Flamey is being boosted up towards banana. Zeus is making the rotation from the B bomb side into CT spawn. That happening while you still have Na'Vi having full control over middle. Both Simple and Edward is watching. So in theory, this rotation coming in from Zeus, it's pointless. There's no need for them to do that, especially considering the utility level you have towards the Na'Vi guys. You would assume 3 versus 3 on this on A bomb side should be enough, considering all the utility. Unfortunately for Na'Vi, they decide to do this. Flamey stays in this position, and he will go down to Guardian in a second, again leaving Zeus alone, forcing Simple into a rotation towards CT spawn. Now Zeus is left all by himself in this B bomb side, and that is not a good thing for him, right? It's going to be tough for him to defend it. Simple is coming in as the backup. Smokes comes in, Molotovs comes in. Zeus is being forced out of his position by the Molotov, jumps in towards first, and for some reason, Simple decides to go through the smoke right here. He goes down in a second. Zeus goes down, and well, in theory, there should be no chance that Na'Vi is losing this round. Had Flamey just fall back, had they played the sides and played with the utility they had, there would have been no doubt that this was a round in favor of Na'Vi. That said, though, they're making a small mistakes here and there, and they should iron them out if they want to win convincingly against a FaZe team that individually is stepping up right now.
And that's the individuals that we were asking for in that pre-match. Rain has arrived, thank goodness, albeit a stubborn Rain. I didn't realize he was also in the anti-org club.
Yeah, so I did a little bit of digging on the org stats for the side of FaZe Clan, right? I compared them with Renegades and NIP, both teams who are in the champion stage who played 8 maps within the legend stage, so all 3 of them. When you look at the guys from FaZe, 5% of their total kills have come from the org, whereas the side of NIP, it's roughly 20%, and Renegades have really embraced it. Roughly 30% of their entire kills have come from it. So
how much
FaZe
was FaZe? 5?
Roughly 5%.
My goodness.
So, look, Simple actually did an interview where he said, it's an update. Everybody gets to play the same update. So FaZe are just being stubborn in approaching it, because I know that somebody like Yanko knows it's a good idea to get that org on board.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, perhaps, when we talk about these players, we talk about their infamy and how long they've done it. Perhaps it is stubbornness, but also, this change is scary. When you've had how many thousands of hours with the M4?
You okay?
Yeah, sorry.
We're just breaking the set.
People have set like bear traps behind
It's pretty good back here.
Yeah. It is lovely. Hopefully there's less traps and less tribulations over with Frankie. She's over backstage hunting for players.
Yanko, I've got to ask you about that map pick. Inferno, such an unusual choice.
Yeah, I think we just had a plan coming into it. When we look at, we feel like we can play a lot of maps, and for Na'Vi we felt like Train is their strongest map, so we don't need to play it. And for us, for Inferno, it's also something that we felt like we could exploit, and I think it has shown, especially on the T side, but unfortunately we couldn't close it out in the second half when they made a good comeback.
But
someone can tell Flamey to relax a little bit, acing in both pistol rounds. Winning 1 pistol round, I think, would have made the game super easy for us, but it just wasn't meant to be this time.
You do have to applaud that boy. 2 pistol round ace is absolutely insane. But I want to talk about your T side, because it was such a strong performance, way stronger than when we last saw you in Inferno against Renegades.
Yeah, I think, you know, in that game, we lost control of the money very early on. We won the pistol, but lost the second round. And Inferno is very, you know, you need a lot of utility on that map, so that made it a bit hard for us to play in the beginning. We adjusted towards the end, but couldn't close it out. So we looked at some of the things we did wrong in the Renegades game and just worked on it in this break, and felt like we were well prepared to pick Inferno against Navi.
Well, I have to say, it was a lot calmer of a performance than we've seen from the FaZe boys and the Legend stage. So go and get ready for Mirage, and good luck to the guys. Thank you so much for talking to me, Janko. Let's head back to the desk.
Yes, indeed. Not good enough, though. Na'Vi 1-0 up in this quarterfinal, and now a reverse sweep necessary from FaZe Clan. That, of course, was Inferno, and now Na'Vi's pick up next. We're heading to Mirage.
Mirage, Mid, and Mayhem have become synonymous with one another. Whether you want to take it clean and tactically or scrimmy with speed, Mid features in every round of Mirage. The standard Mid routine is used to force the defenders back and set up the potential for splits using connector, window, and short. Responding with aggression, the counter-terrorists can push back, aided by grenades of their own. More often than not, it ends in a bloodbath, with a huge investment of players and utility being launched back and forth. Elsewhere, wide bomb sites surrounded by tight choke points make for a map in which individual plays can turn the tide of play. Eyes to the sky on the CT side, utility rains down from the sky before an inevitable hit. When the smoke clears, battle continues in plain sight.
Two quick things we want to point out here on Mirage. So the T side of FaZe Clan, when they throw the window smoke and a deeper cat smoke to allow them to push up and go quickly into short. If they throw these smokes, they're going mid. There was only one time in the 3 demos I watched recently where they didn't use it. Secondly, the CT side, we've already talked about this. Zeus is the anchor over towards B. They've bolstered him over with Flamey, who's now playing towards the side as well. Edward has been moved over to connector towards the A-bomb site, and you have Electronic playing retake a ticket 95% of the time. That leaves Simple in window where he can roam around and help everybody out, and this B-bomb site is going to be a point of contention because we've seen Liquid trying to abuse it against Na'Vi. I think FaZe will do the same.
And it doesn't always work out. And I think that's something that's so interesting. Just a quick point on it then, Jacob. How does Na'Vi know that they're going to have their site tackled, and yet sometimes a bit hot and cold and successfully defending it?
I mean, I think Zeus have shown time and time again in this tournament that he knows how to deal with it. He's very good at staying alive. He's very good at using his utility on that B-bomb side. Adding into that, you have Flamey currently having maybe the tournament of his life. You know, he's a very good individual, so he can help him out and bail him out. So in that regard, we did see Liquid try to punish him on that B-bomb side, but Zeus was simply too good at it.
And I'm sure we're going to be seeing more org play as well. I mean, Electronic on that CT position you outlined there, it does get deadly when Electronic's aim is combined with that weapon.
Yeah, it's, you know, a safe pair of hands. It's not the best player in the team, but it's the second best, and he can deal with that time and time again. It's not somebody like Edward or Zeus who'll be pressured out of position. Electronic will play that. He'll get 1 or 2 kills, and that's going to be looking good for Na'Vi again, I think, Alex.
Looking good for Na'Vi, bad for FaZe Clan. 14 out of 14 times, yes, Olof has attended this stage of the major. Guardian has had this trophy elude him time after time, and now Na'Vi, his old team, the jersey he used to bear, now have the opportunity to take an opportunity away from him. FaZe versus Na'Vi, Guardian versus Na'Vi. They need 2, and it starts here on Mirage. Henry, Sadakist, it's back to you.
Thank you so much, Alex. It is, and we are back, and we are ready, Henry.
We certainly are. Na'Vi kicking things off on the T side here. Already picked up FaZe map pick of Inferno, but it's Mirage. It's still wide open here. No reason why FaZe can't battle back and take us to dust too. It's a very slow approach to kick things off here. Simple towards the underpass. He confirms the connector is clear as his teammates get ready for a potential B split here. We talked about that. It's all off my stat. Will be smoked out for now, but that's going to just hold off the T's for at least 10 seconds as Flamey gets headshot. Down to 4 HP.
The smoke Olaf needs to be careful at this point in time to make sure he doesn't overstep the mark and doesn't get caught off. Easy to do so in that position, certainly with the smoke down, it's menacing. Reveals the other side, Olaf finds it, steps out, Flamey gone. Just to note, Flamey's gone.
Yeah, no ace this time it seems, as Edward will try and bring the frag back in their favor. It's a 4 versus 2 now with Zeus and Electronic to pick up the pieces, but Zeus completely removed from the equation there, and now it's just Electronic trying to find anything he can at this point. 3 versus 1, 15 HP. That damage alone should confirm things, and Nico with a decent backstab there as we FaZe picking up that first pistol of the series so far. Like you mentioned, Flamey shut that early on was a nice little taking point from FaZe. We're going to have all of my stuff, finding the low HP, Flamey, and at that point, Edward battles back for a couple of kills. Only good for 1 though. Round 2 should be the eco for Na'Vi, and we'll see the AKs in the 3rd. And I expect FaZe to be preparing for that, as they'll bring out 2 for Masses, an M4, and indeed Guardian on the P250 means he can get the AWP in the next round. As he will hope they take an eco here, but Simple has got Deagle armor, so has Electronic. They've actually taken quite a lot of investment here. Better hope this works out.
Difficult task. Without the bomb plant down, certainly. Their way back through the underpass, likewise toward top mid. Electronic's been holding the angle toward connector at the very least, but they've got no information. Window as to catwalk, as to who waits topside jungle. Very passive from FaZe, you could say as well. 2-3 split. Inside of the sites, they'll concede middle. They know they've got the range.
I just don't want to give any players away here in solo interactions. Has to be crossfires, play defensively. Guardian saving of the AWP actually opens things up. That's one of the few players that had a helmet. He somehow wins the duel against Simple there. And it's a 5 versus 3. This is not looking good for Na'Vi whatsoever. Guardian with second. That's $600 in the bag now. Oh my God.
The guy with the pistol, the guy that's saved for an AWP, he gets all the kills. That's you couldn't dream of a better situation, really. It's exactly what they want. And not only, as you say, they didn't lose any individual duels. Everyone stayed alive. Guardian has $6,500.
That's exactly what they need.
He's going to go to the op. Now, I always say this. Yeah, okay, you've got the op. You want to bring it out. Certainly, Guardian's capable. It is a bit scary that you bring it out against pistols. I think, to me, almost more so than bringing it out against guns, because there's more of a risk factor if you get overwhelmed.
Mirage, though, he can play like the window position. Like, he shouldn't be in too much danger. Even if they take him down, it's unlikely they'll recover the AWP. We'll see, as it's Na'Vi not fully investing. If they'd taken a full eco previously and not had Simple Electronic with Deagle armor, they'd actually have AKs across the board here and have a fighting chance of actually doing something with this round. Unfortunately, spending way too much cash previously has led them here. Still a chance to win it with the Deagle's armor, etc. But overall, FaZe will be very comfortable. As soon as they hear the Deagle's fire off as well, they know that's just going to be pistols against them. So round 3, and Na'Vi looking for an opening pick. It's Flamey looking towards that connector, seeing if anyone will give him an opportunity here. It's going to be Nico. He's fighting from the connector. Takes Flamey down. Confirm they don't have rifles at this point. They can fall right back and hold those crossfires we previously discussed.
Works his way up now with the Deagle. Molotov already dropped down. He knows Ticket Booth's likeliness, but smoke in position. We'll continue on toward the site. Electronic. Inside of the apartments, we'll run into a Dren. I think that'll happen before Olaf even makes contact. Does throw a nade out toward Cat, but battle inside a kitchen. Both players actually subside, they fall off of it. Simple thinks he can get an angle, smoke down single arch. Bit of a problem for Edward to get through the flames. He's inside of the site, easy for Olaf. He could hear him coming the whole time.
The bomb's still towards middle, 20 seconds remaining. That's on the back of Simple. Heads towards the A side. It's actually open right now. It's Rain and CT spawn, but he can steal a plant away. Yeah, absolutely. I don't think Rain will justify the push in. Even if he does, he's greeted with a Desert Eagle bullet from hell. They're trying to wallbang him now, and Simple actually has a chance here.
He just barely got to the gun, but I don't know if he's going to be spotted. He somehow gets away. No peek from Guardian. He thought the push might be coming aggressively. This situation suddenly turned Zeus. He's got an M4 picked up to work with, and he's just toying with Olaf at this point in time. He's holding him off. And Simple's waiting, and Guardian's got to go. AWP for Guardian as well, and Simple's not moving at all. Spotted already, damage done. Simple goes back out. Now Olaf gets Zeus, but it's all for naught because Simple's so far removed, and the bomb's ticking so fast. And again, there's what's the problem with the pistols. You bring him out too soon, Op can't do anything once they've lost ground. They now get a free Op on the other side, and there's no money left over to bring it out in the first gun rounds.
It was looking so good for FaZe there. They got the opening pick, they did low. Got to a couple players down to low HP as well. They funneled him in towards A. It was a desperate attempt there from Simple, but he hits this shot. all of a sudden, it's looking very good for them, and Rain arguably could have just held up defensively, allowed the plant to come in, but he thought that round was locked in at that stage. With 8 seconds remaining, shouldn't have been too much of a hassle for him, but Simple absolutely delivers there and finds them the round. That's unbelievable. They come with Deagle armor, not even a full investment there, and they win the round. And all of a sudden, it swings in favor of Na'Vi as it's FaZe who have to go for an eco here. 1 for Mass from the previous round. CZ's, Nico the only one of armor here. They've got 1 smoke and Rain on the hunt for the opening kill of round 4. Well, that's the Simple we didn't see too much of in the first map, but that 1 kill is all it took. And like you mentioned, Zeus is buying so much time, just toying with the AWPer there. Ran the bomb down way too low, and Guardian had to run at the pistol, and down he went.
Nico this game as well. You mentioned Simple, more of what we expect. He's only got 2 kills, but the impact is resounding. It's Nico that leads on 5, so he's already had a much better start than he had on Inferno.
Oh yes, absolutely. Well, can I do anything with this? You're going for a 3-man stack towards B. You can see 2 players at the back on the bench. I assume it's all of Meister will be up in that position. 50 seconds remain. And the B split is looking likely, to be honest.
The wait as well from Catwalk with the AWP. Flamey joins in. Just Guardian inside a quad boosted up that could foil the plans at B. There is 2 stacked on bench. They're already caught off. Down they go. Again, they've cleared everything. Guardian actually reveals himself, goes out aggressively. They were swinging around. They probably would have spotted him from that position outside of the window anyway, so I guess you might as well take the fight, give it a go, give it a crack. Just Rain remaining.
Yeah, he was never going to win the round there, so might as well go for a kill. Try and pay off some of the debts for the CZ, but either way, it's a 5 versus 1. And we'll tie things up as Na'Vi will go 2-2 here on the T side of Mirage. But plenty of money available for FaZe going forward. It's Rain now just trying to get an extra $300. Not going to happen. It's Edward with a nice shot from the window. That will tie things up here. 5 players survive on the Na'Vi side. Remember, they won technically an eco as well, so they've got tons of money here. Simple has the AWP now and $8,000 in reserve ever since his fantastic performance there in round number 3. Will this be enough? Round 5, Guardian has the AWP. A Dren down to the UMP. We do have an Olafmeister AUG, though. That's been a massive talking point about this team. Chad mentioned that 5% of their kills have come from the AUGs. You look at teams like Renegades have found massive success playing above expectations with 30% kills in that weapon. It does beg the question as to why they're not embracing it more. Flamey takes down Guardian. Wonderful shot.
Spectacular again. He gets to the corner first. Guardian down. It's the primary hopper losing out to a man who had it based on spawn position. He's going to hold it a little bit longer. We know he secondaried it on Inferno, so Simple happy to hold on to the AWP. That's been a talking point. As if there's changes after the major, certainly that depends upon their performance in the next few days, but if James was the one to be coming in and he's on the op, does Simple go back to a rifle? So
you can see what he can do.
Yeah, I was going to say, you can see exactly why that may not be a concern for them after all. Smoked off, Nico won't be able to catch anyone transitioning inside of the site. Zeus holds to make sure no one will push through the back side of it, and Edward will cross it. He has to, and he has to go now because the smoke's already down. He needs to get the bomb planted. You've pointed out the obvious at this point in time. It's everyone on the CT side over toward B, and Op, AUG, UMP with the kits. Armor on all 3. We've got this round already decided for us.
I think you might be right there. This is basic as they have the AWP. Might as well just protect that the best they possibly can. It's Nico going up towards the kitchen right now. Na'Vi, trust me, they're up for a hunt here. They've got tons of money, 5 players alive, and Electronic more than happy to use this extended time he has. He has another 20 seconds or so to go silently towards the kitchen and see if he can find Nico. Nico will drop a smoke as he doesn't really feel comfortable at this point. That should keep him alive, but we'll see as Na'Vi get closer and closer towards that B bomb site. It doesn't look like they're hunting as much as I might have preempted. Nico, strong position. Zeus takes an 8 to the face. Going to boost Simple up, though. Will he be able to find the headshots required?
Again, they do want to try and track these guns down. Flamey, second kill on the AWP. He's got the UMP. That's the one they could afford to lose, I guess, if you want to give up one of the 3, if you had to. At this point, though, they're so desperate. That's like giving up one of your 3 children. You need them all.
Well, they will save the AWP and the AUG, but there's just not enough resources to justify the force around it. Na'Vi up 3-2 here on their T side of Mirage. Unless they've got a tactical timeout now. FaZe to use their first. So what do they want to do? Nico has the AWP right now. Certainly capable of finding multiple frags on it. It's just his sort of caliber that normally makes these rounds possible. If he can be aggressive here, get the first pick and rotate quickly down to the other side of the map, he might be able to dictate the pace of play for Na'Vi, but they're going to be very aware of it. The fact there's a pause right now, they know there's an AWP up, they will be very careful. They might just do a full A execution to make AWPs a little bit more redundant going forward. That would be my call, at least, if you know the AWP's up. Get all the smokes down on A, Molotov those close range positions, flush out the pistols. We'll see if they have a similar mindset. They might just go for a slow default here.
Well, Nico on the op instead, and that, I think, strictly... I was going to say due to spawn. It's not, because Guardian had the fast mid spawn, so he wants it. Taking matters into his own hands.
Not the cleanest kill, but Electronic will take it. That's the AWP down.
That is the op down. He wanted the A main pick. He was expecting perhaps that Na'Vi on the back of this timeout would go quickly, and they have. They have indeed. Electronic to find Olaf. Zeus out light rain in the open of the site. Nowhere to hide at all.
You could see they wanted to execute there, but it kept killing everyone. It's like, guys, you might as well just come in now. Forget the grenades. Everyone's dead.
Well, the good news with that is the adaptation in the mid round to call that. You save them for the post plant. Not that they're going to need them, but the fact that, if you overcommit and overthrow them, and let's say it's a gun round right now, there's 3 players left alive, you don't really have much left to defend with. So the fact that they were able to identify that and run in, all is well. Flamey's gonna go around, they'll poke in from behind at the vent as well, but Flamey gets the kill himself. It's a Dren to go down. Flamey, by the way, 4 kills. There's not a ton of kills on either side, really. 6 rounds in, no one's higher than 5 kills. No one person sort of standing out or dictating the game at this point.
As Electronic. First kill wasn't amazing, but the second kill was much cleaner. But still, the fact he takes down the AWP as the first frag, you're going to go off that. You're going to know that there's a good chance you can just completely crush the A side off an opening pick like that. Money finally starting to stabilize here for FaZe. They do invest in this round. It's Guardian with the AWP once again. He currently has 4 kills and 5 deaths. It's Rain, 0 and 4. We need to see show up. Same story for Adren, really. They have 1 kit. They have the utility they need. Up against Simple, who's just been naded down to 55. That's towards the B side of the map, and they'll go back into their default here. And Flamey may be feeling a little bit too relaxed as he challenges Dry towards the jungle position from Palace, and Guardian's waiting for him. Gets the opening kill.
Zeus waits again underneath of the window. No one to boost him at that position. He's alone. Not entirely inside of middle, that is, but certainly down below. The other 2 up by the boxes. Rain on top of the balcony. He's gone back down underneath, so Electronic won't have to worry so much about a quick peek from his position. Simple, that was fast. Nico was barely around the corner. Electronic spots out Rain, tries to spray it through, but it actually goes against him. So the M4 winning, and that clears out the front of the site. Everyone else wants to work in from connector. Rain, he's got to play backside of triple, and Guardian sets a crossfire with him on the AWP. Reverse firebox, flash mistimed, and Rain might get caught by Zeus jumping, knows he's low. Got the call from Electronic that he'd already tagged him on top of the ladder, so it's all on Guardian yet again.
First advantage FaZe have had in some time here. Guardian does hit the shot, but doesn't quite get the frag, but he denies the plant. That's what they needed. FaZe with a clean round there, courtesy of Guardian. He managed to get the opening kill towards Palace. As I mentioned, maybe Na'Vi way too relaxed at this stage. The fact that they're challenging those sort of choke points is a little bit questionable, but still they're feeding it right now. They feel they've got a massive upper hand. You can't really criticize it too much, but now they'll probably slow it right down and be a little bit more methodical. This kill really did set the tone of the round. The fact that Rain goes down to like 5 HP, manages to get the frag. Guardian denies the bomb. They're going to be feeling more themselves now. As we go 4-3, still in favor of Na'Vi, but the double AWP setup for FaZe, featuring Guardian and Olofmeister.
Guardian again, quick to the window, didn't win this pick last time. Remember, it was Flamey that had the op. Simple this time. Simple goes to Palace with it as well. It's very situational. Palace is really one angle that opens things up. That's toward the top of the stairs. Incredibly potent in holding it, but it does rely on someone being there. Once that's covered off, you can swing it towards CT as well. So usually a rifle that they put in this position for the same effect. Simple wants to fortify and strengthen that cause. Watch out though, because Rain has pushed up yet again, and if he suspects an AWP, Simple might have problems. Simple will have problems. Rain spots him perfectly.
Slow default once again, shut down by Rain to kick things off. Simple looking to challenge Guardian this time. Remember, he got the kill on Flamey at the rifle before, so he was hoping he'd be tempted to face that position once again, but doesn't even get the chance to show us how smart that play was. 5 on 4, FaZe. Still a lot of work to do here, but for now have the advantage. Dren holding towards B. He'll be joined by Olof Meister. Remember, he's got that secondary AWP posted up like a turret. Not challenging the more direct angle, but he's got a nice opportunity to get a kill, drop off safely. He's not fully committed to the position.
Press upon the A site still. Nico waits, covers it off. Don't forget that Rain wants to slide back out. Nico, he's got Guardian to support him. Easy collection, smoke down. They were standing in it. Fantastic shot, though, from Electronic, at least to get back in. Flamey, he overlooked it. He looked under the shadow. He knew that Rain was somewhere nearby, but didn't guess correctly, and it is FaZe to pull back 2 in a row, 4-4. And Guns starting to whittle away. Oh, I'd take that back.
They got plenty.
Yeah, I was going to say, Navi's got way more money than I thought at this point because so effective in the previous rounds.
It stemmed off their victory in the eco round where they didn't fully invest. They won that round with like 3 players surviving, and their money is just swelled from there. Great stuff from Guardian, though. He is such a fantastic Mirage player. Electronic is too, but Guardian had already done the damage at that stage. As the double setup still rings true, we're going to round number 9 here. Still anyone's map, absolutely. It's not necessarily a biased map for any half, but it is more preferred to be on the CT side and post more rounds there. And Simple this time, not challenging towards Palace, just waiting to see if anyone wants to use the one-way towards that connector. Bit of aggression here from Nico, but he is alone. He managed to take down one before, and he's done it again. That's going to be Simple dropping. Will there be a trade? There absolutely will be. Nice shot comes in from Edward.
Simple's going to be really wanting to be babysat soon if he keeps holding these angles. That's twice that he's been pre-scoped and someone snuck in beside him and just kind of clean and easy shot.
That doesn't actually help out FaZe too much, so yes, they get the opening kill, but it goes down to a 4-on-4 with no exit strategy. You've got to question what the get-out-of-jail card was there. It's Electronic, lovely movement, but it's Rain that still lands the headshot.
Zeus waits inside a connector again. Rain watches off. Same position Nico was in last time. Remember, Guardian complemented it. He is in a similar position, but the problem is they've got a smoke back triple. So he's really got to get up on top of Ticket if he wants any chance. And not only that, they'll isolate Rain. So there would be a gap on the far side of it, but it blooms perfectly. And Zeus is holding. Rain does the smart thing and backs away from it. No more radar to give away. Potentially that someone's on the other side.
True, good point. 30 seconds though. Guardian doesn't need anything like a radar. He's got that scope, and it seems to be hitting absolutely everything right now. Speaking of which, Na'Vi doing a great job here. Olof Meister looking to deny the plant, can't do it, but gets the frag. It's a 2 versus 2. Zeus and Flamey defend off Guardian and Olof Meister. They have a kit and smoke.
Still trying to find the shot on A main. They've overlooked the fact that Zeus came back out again on the AWP. He's got the AWP rolling in his hands. Maybe that's the call. Guardian can't hit the headshot. Does spot Flamey, though, working in toward Tetris, but a quick switch catches them out, and Na'Vi pull it back.
Zeus stepping up when they need him, absolutely. Wins a great duel to open things up at the AK, picks up the AWP, takes down that connector player, and all of a sudden it's looking very good. He dropped the incendiary on top of the bomb as well. He guaranteed that round victory there.
This is a team game from Na'Vi.
Yep.
6 kills for Edward, 5 for Simple, 6 Electronic, 5 for Flamey, 5 for Zeus, all of them together.
Well, Simple said coming into this one, he feels like if he dies early in the round, his teammates will not necessarily convert the round to a victory, but so far he's gone down and they're actually managing to pick up the pieces and look pretty formidable. It's 5-4 on the T side in favor of Na'Vi now, and they've broken FaZe to another eco. They're going Deagles and P250s. This is the map pick of Na'Vi. If you are just joining us, you've missed one hell of a series so far. Inferno went the distance. That was the pick of FaZe Clan, but Na'Vi narrowly picked it up towards the end. They're 1-0 up here, and they can close out the series' first quarterfinal of the day. And this second map, and send FaZe packing. So 3 Deagles. Rain gets some Kevlar. He had a bit more money than his teammates. Still with 4,100 though, so plenty of cash. There's a double orb set up. The lack of orgs has been a massive talking point for FaZe so far. Dren barely made a scratch on the first half. FaZe on 1-on-5. Still plenty of rounds to play.
Inside of the site as well. There's Deagle to hold it off. Double push toward Cat. Rain and Olaf. Dren hasn't had much action. His score is 1, 3, and 5. It's not really representative of his game because he just hasn't been able to do much at B, and he's been rotating into lost causes far too many times. So we'll see if he can get rolling if they do finally head that way. Back toward mid, stack out. No one to, so far, at least evaluate the A site. push through and get the information. Don't be surprised that if Olaf gets 1 or 2 kills, if he can drop that bomb at Catwalk, that they'll swarm. Edward's gonna go in, clear it all the way, but spots him off Deagle. Not gonna have the surprise element to get the headshot angle. Edward has better ideas and better intentions. And now we're seeing Flamey as well head back over toward A. No further action inside mid. They're gonna take their time, 36 seconds. And over toward A, indeed it will go.
Well, the A site completely open, no problem there. It's going to be Na'Vi picking this round up, and it doesn't look like we'll get any kills going at all for FaZe. Rain might be better off to saving the Deagle armor at this point. They can kind of feel this round slipped apart now as they've got 15 seconds remaining. No one's there. And it's up to Electronic to mow them down. Not as crisp as you'd like to see, but he still gets the first. Edward will get the second. And it's Rain and the Dread now just holding on to Deagles.
Edward's still just waiting it out. Make sure no one's going to sneak through behind. Guns all up at this point in time. Zeus gets Rain, so more kills for him. Zeus should be able to close it as well. Adren's going to make that a little more difficult. Gets behind the pillar, peeks back out. There's one of the Deagle. There's some skill for him. Spots as well that they're in the window, but he's just looking for any kill he can find at this point. Edward low enough.
Good
He
shots.
finds Simple. This will get him going. Again, he hasn't had much action on B. Now Adren will. And the damage reveals the cost, because he'll get a gun. No, he won't. Flamey's got him instead. I thought it would certainly make matters worse on the Na'Vi economy, which is, again, still swelling, and help FaZe, but he's caught off in the end.
Yeah, he manages to get himself $900 return on that one, but he spent $700 on the Deagle. So yes, it will get him going individually for like, okay, I've still got it. I'm still feeling it. But doesn't make a massive impact on the game. It's getting to the latter stages now. But still, you've managed to get a couple of players under 3K. But it's Flamey with $9,000. It's a problem. But we'll see if they can convert this now. A double AWP setup again. It's really where Na'Vi wants to position themselves. Dren pulls out the AUG as Olaf Meister will actually be towards short this time, not turreting up and towards that B apartment position. Guardian taking down a 40 HP at the start of the round, not the start they were looking for.
Edward already doing what he can to control mid. And this is the difference. We talked about it. Simple's going to want a babysitter on the rifle if he's pre-scoping these angles. Last time they didn't put anyone at boxes. They left the second rifle behind Simple to watch the angle. Unfortunately, it was Nico that got up in front of them, caught them off. Rifle couldn't do anything to trade it. By putting Edward further out of the boxes, no one's getting up mid.
CTs have 1 smoke remaining. We haven't got to the 1 minute mark here. A couple of flashbangs, 1 incendiary, but it's all on the utility belt of Olaf Meister.
And this is actually a talking point as well, because if they're not going to play the AUGs, utility's still required. You can't hold the angles in the same way. That was something Liquid said in an interview I did with them earlier at the start of the last week. Basically said it's allowing CTs to take duels to hold angles that you formerly couldn't. Well, if you're not going to have utility and you don't have that gun, you're back to square one.
Well, it's a 4-4 for now. 40 seconds remain. There's almost nothing to defend here, and Olaf Meister misses a key shot that gives up his position, but it might funnel them towards A. Nico does step in and take Simple down, at least keeping him on a leash, but now this is where it becomes really testing for them. He hits the shot, but it's not going to be enough.
He'll still try for more. Bomb down, he might have to consider giving it up on the AWP. He still couldn't collect Flamey as he jumped back across. Third time a charm?
Not quite.
He wants to clip his wings, but he can't quite get there. It's Flamey, that's on 23, just waiting to hold it. Molotov down, flanks on. This is still a possibility for FaZe. Swarming on the site, the HP's leveled out. Rain gets 1, traded off, Edward inside. Rain's gonna swing it back, he finds all 3, and is there time? There certainly is. He'll find the defuse as well.
Good stuff there by FaZe. It was such a touch and go round. They needed one of those to go in their favor, though. It's Rain that delivers the goods, though. 3 kills on the retake. Very calm, pushing through the smoke. Once the Molotov was placed behind him as well. They didn't anticipate that sort of maneuver. He wins the round, and a couple of them survive as well. So it's 6-5. This is the play from Rain. Just fantastic position. That was a low HP Electronic there, converted to a third. He's the only player for Kit as well, so it actually worked out perfectly for Rain towards the end of that one. They still need to find one more round to break the economy and tie things up. This is where they can do it, though. Round 12. Guardian looks towards middle once again. As it's another B-focused attack from Na'Vi. You can see 3 players in towards the apartments right now. Edward just deployed the Molotov towards the van. So Olaf Meister still the AWP. Same position as last round, but will he actually detect the player in the smoke? He could sneak through.
Poison within and everything still. It's Olaf that gets away. I think he might have gone down if he stayed even a second longer, because Smoke that was slowly dissolving as Electronic at least gets range, starts things off again for Na'Vi. Get broken down in the economic situation. This round would be the first in which they would have to go back to a save. Edward works mid. He's got some help. He's got Flamey down below, and Guardians rotated all the way back around towards CT, rightfully so. Nico's got a main covered off. Guardian at this point knows there's been some activity inside of middle, but needs to also be aware of Palace eventually. And Zeus goes that way. He's actually past Nico, but Nico could catch off quite a few.
He really could. There's a low HP player coming first. He's definitely got that frag, but can he get more than one? As soon as he gets Electronic, there's enough space for them to trade here, but they're going to face together. They're actually leaving the low HP player to go in last. That's so smart. So that actually works out really well for them.
It did, except that I thought it was because they were going to check it. It's because they were trying to slow down and not make noise to main. They go with their back turn. Edward gave himself up. Guardians taking it into his own hands. Electronic again, the one to put him back down. Secondary Opera winning out, but this time 2 for Guardian. And Bomb still gets planted. 18 HP, the AWP will hold Adren. Flamey was going to push through. He could have easily been inside of the window room already.
They've got no idea. Olof, does he check it? It's about this time you start to have your doubts, but Flamey's got the kill. And it's going to be Adren in a 2 versus 1. He's got 4 kills to his name so far, can't get any more. And Na'Vi have reset FaZe once again. This is significant, a massive round for them to pick up. As soon as FaZe get back on their feet after losing a few in a row, they win a single round and then lose all 5 players in the subsequent. They now have to take an eco here or force buy in with PT50CZ. They're actually going for it. They are going to force buy here. And Guardian keeps having these great moments, but it's not enough to win rounds. Frustration starting to set in as they do go for the full investment here. All 5 players, upgraded pistols, all the utility they need, and indeed armor. Olofmeister opting for the kits. They don't win this round. It's going to be a landslide scoreline for Na'Vi on the T side once again.
Rain's going to push it out. Pistol in hands. Single
play.
Well, they have to. And Flamey at this point. He's inside of Palace. Bomb's at top mid. He could try and just connect. Goes down immediately. Okay, fair enough. They get a gun. It's a bit of a problem for them. But if he even gets a single kill, he starts to reveal the fact that there's 3 over there. It's almost a bit tense in these situations when you have the guns and you've gone this far into the round. You've also got the obvious position in middle that you want to ascertain, and then you still haven't got any information from it. What really waits on the other side? So this will go slow enough. It is going to go back over. It's not a full stack, but back over toward A. It's an aggressive position. It's a forward position with the pistols. Was his shin bone spotted? Doesn't matter. Smoke down. That confirms he's there. They'll back off of this. Zeus slides in. The smoke soon to fade. Everything hidden is suddenly revealed. They go through. Electronic finding one, and plus the by FaZe, by Na'Vi. Looks like Navi's taking care of FaZe for them, but this is open. This is wide open. Electronic takes out Nico Rain. He gets the trade, but again, it's he that finds himself alone. 10 seconds, has to commit to the bomb plant, and that is a rather welcome sign for Edward. He'll walk in and deny.
They really need that plant to go down. They're a 4th state loss bonus here. If they got the plant there, Matt, they'd actually have a buy here. They'd have enough for at least 5 rifles. Unfortunately, that's really not the case right now. They're 13-7 down. They're averaging $3,000 per player. Let's just break that round down, though. You can throw that smoke pretty early off in the CT side POV, but Flamey gets up there. He finds himself comfortable in the mid boxes, doubles down the smoke, flashes through, takes down Guardian, then has the audacity to keep pushing and finding frag after frag. He gets 2 in total, dinked Nico in the process as well. And at that point, Electronic has Palace control. This couldn't be going any better. It's the same setup there. Nico's burning at the start. You can see why that incendiary is thrown to stop them having any sort of vision as Simple takes down Rain.
Flamey comes back around. Try and wait out with the AUG inside of the site. Just fire at the window. Why not? Take all chances. Simple takes some damage, but tries to return it in the other direction onto Nico, who now falls all the way back around and goes toward T-spawn. Just 3 rounds to go for Na'Vi, and they've made quick work of FaZe. Booked themselves a date for Saturday. Remember, 2 quarterfinals, one side of the bracket today. The other side of the bracket, both quarterfinals play tomorrow. Nico takes down Edward. Good deagle shot. At least gets one back in their favor, but one is not enough, and certainly not when Flamey goes immediately back before Olaf can do anything up against Simple. It's now 2 to go for Na'Vi.
It's going to have to be one of those heroic comebacks here from FaZe. 14-7 on the T side of Mirage. They've waited for this moment, though. Their finances have been absolutely wrecked throughout this campaign on Mirage. Remember, FaZe, Matt, have won both pistols here. That is actually quite shocking. That was one of the talking points, the analysts coming into this game. They couldn't actually convert those pistol victories to 3-0s, not even 2-0s. Na'Vi keep forcing into it and winning the rounds, and it's detrimental, of course it is, as they'll have a full buy here at least. What is the setup? It looks like mid-control's coming in. Simple has a gap in that smoke. Can he actually use it, though? Doesn't do too much damage. His Guardian takes a nade at the very start. They're aware of the potential of that gap now. Simple certainly had a kill available to him. And look at this, still with the UMP. Zeus has got so much cash available to him going forward. He's had that UMP for ages. He gets the opening pick as well. Is he going to upgrade to an AK? He absolutely is. What a legendary play from him. Gets in there with the UMP, takes down their initial kill, and now this is looking very good for 15-7 with a map in the back. FaZe are looking very flat on their T side now. Pretty basic approach.
It's very, Flamey's got to be careful here. Very basic, but gets caught off by Nico. They have a basic problem, and that's called the B site.
That could be it.
Edward is pushed so far forward, though. You're right, Guardian is going to have a tremendous trouble. Tumultuous task. Any other alliteration you want to throw onto it, Henry?
Not right now, but I'll think of one perhaps if we get past this round.
Let's see how the op holds. He's fast, he's got it, he's covered it off. Edward got impatient, and it's now a 4-on-4. That will favor the execution, but one execution. It's actually a rotation. It's going to be all for naught. This will all go back over toward the A site. They realize now, as they spot Nico, Simple happened to see it through connector, that they were heading down catwalk. So Flamey's got to rush over there. Thankfully for his sake, it was Guardian that had the bomb. That's why they started the rotate in the first place. And he'll be there before it. Rain drops immediately. Adren, he's back at T-Spawn. Guardian's not sure where to go. He knows he's lost the B site, and Zeus knows he's won the round. He knows exactly what's happening.
Oh, he rubs it in his face. That's unbelievable. He knows the round is over. It's good to see a bit of showboating in CSGO. Don't get that too often. But he knows the round is won. And that's going to really frustrate FaZe now. They really haven't shown up in this quarterfinal. Remember, they had a 10-5 lead in the first half of Infernal on their T side. Somehow lose that map. Somehow. And now find themselves 15-7 down on Mirage. They haven't even got going on their T side yet. But Zeus, what a performance he's had. Simple. Pretty easy shot by his standards towards Shaw, but that's when the round is over. The reason he's firing like that is just to annoy his opposition, knowing he's already won the round. Even if Zeus dies there's no way to plant the bomb. Timeout for FaZe. They need to be perfect at this point. It's going to have to be some speech from Janko now. 8 in a row, just to take us to overtime. Na'Vi on the precipice of a semi-final once again.
That's the truth of it. I mean, let's not forget, they were in the final in London. They've been in the final in Cologne. They've been in the final in Columbus. How many times have they been in finals? How far do they always go in these majors?
They never pick up the trophy, though. Zeus has done it with Gambit, but he has not done it under the Na'Vi banner. But right now, I'm thinking there's a chance they could actually do this. This is looking like a much better Na'Vi, a confident one. There's no massive blunders being presented. It's actually looking like a decent little team. Everything's working out for them, and now Olofmeister, he's going to have to make this work. The MAC-10 rushing towards B. Nice movement, actually gets himself into a position we might be able to be deadly here, but it's Zeus again, opening things up, 5-on-4. Could this be the final round?
It might be the end for FaZe. Another run denied, this time in a quarterfinal. Legendary status, at least held on to, but that's not enough. That's not enough for the ambition of this team, and what for Adren, who's come in, and I have to say, it's at the bottom of the leaderboard this time. Does the contract get renewed? Does it get extended?
I'm not sure.
So many questions. Janko as well, who swapped over MIPR, now FaZe, 2 top teams. Has he had enough time to implement himself, or is time not excuse enough?
Here we go then, the last chance for FaZe. 5-on-4, they make their way in. It's a tag already. Rain goes down to 21 HP. They've got nothing left to really work with here. A couple of flashbangs and a Molotov, and Zeus keeps finding kill after kill. 5-on-3 now, it's up to Guardian. I think we might be done here. They've got to tap out. There's nothing left as one player remains, and there it is. It's 2-0. Na'Vi booked himself a place in the semi-final in convincing fashion as well. What a great performance from them. And FaZe, an underwhelming one. as they will crash out in the quarterfinals. They expected so much more here, Matt.
And they might have been relying on the map choice. They knew Mirage was going to come in. No excuses. They just did not step up. It should never be that one-sided. But if Inferno backfired, they certainly were up against it, and it shows. Na'Vi, though, again, I'm with you. They could do this. That was an incredible performance compared to what we've seen from them over the last 3 weeks.
And the thing is as well, it's not like we're saying, oh, it's all about a simple and flaming right now. You look at the scoreboard right now, everyone's in tandem. There's Electronic at the top and everyone else between 16 and 18 frags. That's what you need to be a world-class team. Everyone performing at a similar level, not just a couple of individuals that might be able to steal away a game for you.
That's absolutely true. Whole team from Na'Vi applied. You mentioned Simple's problems with going down early. They rectified many. We're going to rectify a lot of these issues by talking to 3 men who know a lot more about the game than we do. We'll send it over to the analysts.
What a performance. Thank you so much, Sadakist and Henry G there, the voices of that stomping. My goodness, we saw it start on Inferno, of course. It was FaZe who chose to take it there in a full 29 rounds of play. The same can't be said for Mirage. Na'Vi making it clear why they chose to take it there. 16-7, a thrashing, and just a measly singular T round from FaZe Clan. Completely unable to get off of the starting marks. We actually have an opportunity to hear from the victorious over on the stage.
Simple, you told me before that match that your plan was to stick with the team. How did it feel to make beautiful CS with them today?
Feels really great because we played really great individually. I mean, and our team playing was on point. So, I mean, we played as a team, and that's what we like.
An absolute dominant Mirage, and there were rumblings that you had some communication issues in your match with Liquid in the Legend stage. How are the comms now?
I think we just prepared really well Mirage. We knew how they're gonna play against us. Of course, after the first map, they didn't show their A-level Mirage. So, yeah, we just focus on our game more, and we did it.
Are you almost disappointed that they didn't bring their A game, Simple?
Oh, no. I'm really happy that we actually beat them because FaZe Clan deserve it as well. So we're gonna wait for our next game, prepare, and see what happens.
You could be facing Liquid tomorrow in the semi-finals, and we all know what happened last time you faced them, Simple. It was 0-2. What's it gonna be this time?
This time we will play much better, I promise.
Predictions, though, on that score?
I'm not giving any prediction, but we're gonna win at least one map for sure.
Okay, I can't wait to see it. Katowice, do you want to give it up for your first semi-finalist, Na'Vi? That is a beautiful sound, and I think that's our cue to head back to the desk.
Thank you so much, Frankie. A stunning stage, and yes, Simple. He's always graceful in both victory and defeat, and no change here as he does once again talk about team play, and I'm going to do the same with Pimp and Sponge. Guys, team play, this has been the kind of the scene set throughout Na'Vi's run throughout the major, is that it's no longer going to be simple electronic. They have to frag. Not only is Flamey showing up, Zeus is buying UMPs with 10K in the bank and fragging.
He's definitely made himself, you know, a worthwhile member of this team, but you have to look at the fact that how many games with FaZe versus Na'Vi where Simple is the lowest rated player and they're still able to get a 2-0 in a clean way. Normally we talk about FaZe and their CT side is super strong. Here in this series, both maps, they're unable to get it done.
It's just testament that Na'Vi's individuals are showing. I think that was the first thing on the tip of Simple's tongue, Jacob, is that everyone was playing individually, as well as, of course, that team play.
And that's exactly the point, right? Electronic having one hell of a series. Flamey with the impact, especially in the pistol rounds as well. On Inferno coming in strong on Mirage as well. Zeus, they were not able to bully him on that B-bomb side at all. He held his own once again. So I think this Na'Vi team, not only on me, but on a lot of viewers out there, it's growing on me right now. I feel Na'Vi is getting stronger and stronger for every match they play. And it seems to me, as you said, when Simple can bottom frag in a game like this and they can still win convincingly, that's a Na'Vi that everyone should be scared of.
I think, you know, when you look at the nitty and gritty of the Mirage map and you flip over to the CT side of Na'Vi, that top mid smoke was all they needed to completely ruin the T-side game plan of FaZe, right? Drop the top mid smoke, harass them a little bit, they get caught behind their window smoke, their cap smoke, they expire. What now? You know, FaZe, their depth It's not there yet, and they've only had Adren on the team for a very short period of time. The same can be said for Janko, but still they're going to be, you know, very disheartened with this match.
I think that's a fair point to raise, that I'm a little bit disappointed with the way that FaZe played in this game. Obviously, the Inferno, they should have won that. They literally should have won that. Had they not lost both those pistols against Na'Vi, had they just been able to convert that game a little bit better, they should have been the winning team on Inferno. But here in Mirage, they just completely outscaled, completely outplayed, and they showed they didn't really have anything to pull back after that top middle smoke. So overall, just a little bit disappointed in FaZe that they didn't have more to deliver when it mattered the most.
And that's what I think is so interesting, is how does a team with such clearly Counter-Strike, you know, gods. I mean, they understand the game to such a level, they can play the game to such a level. How does, when you mash them together, how do they meet strife? How do they meet struggle? Why is this happening?
Team composition is the simple word for it. I don't think Nico should be the in-game leader for FaZe Clan. I think Nico is a great player. I think he's doing a decent job as an in-game leader. But if you want a team that is going to be able to compete with the very best in the world, you need Nico to be unleashed. You need him to free him from all responsibilities within the game and just let Nico be Nico. Find someone who can lead this team, give Janko a little more time, and that's a better recipe for FaZe than what we're seeing right now.
Yeah, look, when you look at them coming through the Legend stage, Rain, Olaf, they weren't towards the top of the scoreboard, right? You know, Adren was having a lot of impact. Nico was up the top there. They were the names, and Nico and Adren are the lowest, you know, with stat-wise here. And the problem that I'm seeing is the CT side is where it should be easier, right? Because it's just rotations that you're worried about. There's not too many, you know, strategies. There's micro moves, there's flashing for each other, there's the team play. The T side, they actually did better on the first map. On the second map, when they were meant to put up that CT wall, and that's what we talk. Remember we talk about overpass to the pass? It's just like we name the players, and that's their CT defense. Here it's fallen flat, so I don't know if, you know, adding a new layer, trying to not overcomplicate things, but bringing more strategy is in the heads of superstars.
And while you're on the mic, Chad, I see you've loaded up a bit of a recap of how that game went. We got something for us?
This is for the game fuel moment, Alex. So I'm going to head over here, and I'm going to talk this one through for everybody at home. So I have the round timeline to point out for everybody at home the importance of this round. It's actually going to be round number 22, and as you can see right here, nobody survived on the side of Na'Vi. They're still going to get the victory. But what this round has led to is just a slew of rounds to put them in the driver's seat. So I'm going to whack up round 22, and I want to just highlight for everybody the importance. There's a few things early that you need to notice. First and foremost, let's just pause it here. You can see how low the HP is of Zeus. He started this with an AK. He's dropped that across to Electronic, but he's pivotal in this round. We'll clear it off again, and we'll keep it playing through. It's super fast because it's a long clip, but Zeus has so much impact here on a round which has really turned the tide of this game. They're pushing up mid. It's late round. The pressure is on the side of FaZe Clan. Not a lot of utility left to defend, so it's, you know, it's duels. It's gun on battles. Flash is going to come in any minute. Rain's going to pick. Zeus is going to hide. He makes the trade. Huge trade. Now at Halls, a trade again. Electronic's able to trade off, and the bomb site is completely open. At this point here, it's really difficult for the double AWPs of FaZe Clan to get back in, and Zeus is going to find one more massive impact kill against Guardian. He's just going to swing wide. He's going to play with confidence. Gets this kill at any minute now. And FaZe have no option but to save. They can't get back into this bomb site, and that's it. That's my moment of the match.
Yeah, bit of a power play for sure. Thank you so much, Chad. And power exuding from Na'Vi. Now, Jacob, I hate to throw you under the bus because it's happening. You know it's happening.
Come on.
We stood at this desk this time last week, and you described Na'Vi as a team that's lost, a team that's dying. And that's, of course, a big part from the narrative Zeus managed to weave into the news headlines, and I admit that. But this transformation, it's happened so swiftly. Are you now fully sold on the Na'Vi project? They're in the semi-final of the major. They bested FaZe 2-0. You can't ignore it.
No, I mean, I'm sold on the fact that what Na'Vi is showing right now on the server is very admirable. I think they're doing a good job at playing together. I think they're performing at a high level, and I can't wait to see them play in the semifinal because I feel we haven't even seen the best from Na'Vi yet. That said, though, that doesn't exclude the fact that there may be some internal issues going on within Na'Vi right now. And the fact of the matter is that if there are internal stuff going on and they're still able to deliver this high of a performance, then again, give it to Na'Vi.
We painted two sides to this picture, right?
Yeah.
You know, I said either, you know, they're done after this is them, they're just going to go as long as they can, and then the team falls apart, or Zeus has done a fantastic job at sandbagging, right? Making everybody believe that this team is in absolute turmoil, because when you watch them play, even when they're winning, they're still arguing with each other. So all those interviews coming out, all the little bits and pieces, little jabs here and there, they're not following each other on Instagram, all those rumors have played into it. And that's outside of the game, right? But it still plays into at least what we thought behind the analyst desk.
Is it seriously that kind of meta game? Is he playing 5D chess? I don't know, but it is definitely, you can't ignore the results. Na'Vi looking fantastic, and we do have an opportunity to go ahead and continue to hear now perhaps the other side of the coin as we continue to weave this story.
I'm here with Adrian, and first of all, commiserations, and thank you so much for making the time to talk to me now, Adrian. First of all, how did you find that massive stage and the crowd here in Katowice?
It's always amazing, and it's a pleasure to play in front of a Polish crowd. I like especially because we won the tournament in Krakow, and it was so amazing that I love them.
And that was the PGL major back in 2017 with the Gambit. And this is actually the furthest you've gone in a major since then. So what was it like to do it with the FaZe boys?
It felt good to play on stage again and play playoffs, but I feel like frustrated right now. I didn't expect, I didn't want to lose. That's all.
Aside from the obvious, what was the most frustrating thing about that match for you?
I don't know. I can't explain it in English right now. So I have like bad emotions right now. So let's leave it, okay?
Yeah, we can absolutely do that. But I want to talk to you about your future in FaZe, Adrian, because you clearly made an impact here at the major. And I want to see you remain as part of this team. So what would you like?
I have no idea what's going to happen next. I think we're going to sit and talk, and we'll see what will FaZe guys decide.
And are you surprised that you fit so well into this roster?
Actually, it was hard for me in the beginning, but right now I'm just feeling confident. That's why maybe I'm making a little bit good than it was before. So I don't know.
Just a little bit, Adrian. You look like you've been part of this team for ages. I'm keeping everything crossed for you because I want to see you at another event on a massive stage like this because it's where you belong, Adrian. So go and settle with your teammates, have a drink, talk it through, and we're going to see you on a stage like this in the near future, Adrian. So thank you. Congratulations on making the top 8. Yeah. And don't feel bad. I know that's the weirdest thing to hear right now. But tomorrow, I want you to wake up happy. Let's head back to the desk.
Sportive words there from Frankie. Yes, FaZe Clan eliminated, but legend status retained, and I think that was something that they set their goal out. They came into this very openly acknowledging the flaws in their game and unfortunately exploited by Na'Vi for all the FaZe fans in attendance here in Katowice. Any observations from that interview there, Jacob?
I mean, I just think it's about time that FaZe finds the guidance, right? They find a line they want to follow. For a long, long time, we haven't really known what FaZe is anymore. Like, ever since Kerrigan left the team, is Adrian going to be part of the team? Is Ryan K going to stay part of the team? Is Nico supposed to be the in-game leader for the rest of FaZe time? I want them to figure it all out and then come back stronger. I think, you know, looking from the outside, you can be okay with them managing to get to top 8. That's a fine placement for them. They retain the legend spot and they're here at the next major. But for now, if FaZe want to be a force to be reckoned with, if FaZe is a team that you should count as one of the best in the world, they need to figure it out internally. What direction is it we want to go? Because what they're doing right now, it's damage control, but it's not good enough to be the best.
Yeah, exactly. Just going into the Bermuda Triangle, your compass is spinning, you don't know where you're going. And actually, I know exactly where we're going. We're going to check out the Game Fuel power plays of the match.
The Mountain Dew Amp Game Fuel Power Plays.
So what have we got here? Oh, this is
Flamey Aces.
Oh, it makes sense. Yeah.
I think something needs to be stated about this. In a major, there have never been 2 aces by the same player in the same map. This happened on both pistol rounds, and you know, we spoke about this before, but the reason that this is so impressive is because it built the platform for Na'Vi to be able to win the game. They won the pistols, they converted the second, and that's all you can ask for. And if somebody's getting 10 kills in 2 of those kind of key rounds, it's got to be one of the biggest players of the game, surely.
Yeah, and what was so insane is that, like, he kind of did all the heavy lifting in those 2 rounds. He had, like, what, 7 kills outside of them or something?
23 kills total in that first map, so he had only 13 other kills in the rest of that map, right? So his impact was in the beginning, and then, you know, he simmered off a little bit.
But don't we talk about the power of the pistol round?
Exactly.
So, I mean, I wouldn't complain. Do you see the tweet from MVK, Jacob?
I saw it, yeah.
Yeah. He's just saying that Vitality needs a player like that. Of course, it's struggling, the French, to pick up pistol rounds. And I think that's about where we're going to leave it for now. There is so much more Counter-Strike coming up, though. Do not fear, do not fret. Liquid are going to be taking on ENCE next in a best of 3. It is somewhat of a David versus Goliath story. Trace Dennis will be steering this ship for the next game, and we look forward to bringing you more Counter-Strike action live from Katowice and that gorgeous Spodek stage.
Пацаны, короче, тут какая-то проблемка явно выходит сейчас. Что-то здесь не так. Что-то здесь не так. Я сюда нажал. И все. А что делать? Давайте, ладно, пойдем в Team. Все, до свидания. Продолжать смотреть.
We're back live inside of the Spodek, and as people have flurried all into the concession stands to try to pick up themselves some sweet, sweet refreshments going into this next BO3, now is the time I get to introduce myself. Trace Saranthus, you might know me as Stunna, you might know me as a lot of different things, but right now I find myself here posted up on the sofa with none other than Natu. Now, Natu, obviously, big fan of ENCE, probably the biggest fan of ENCE. Is that fair to say?
I think that's a fair thing to say, for sure, yeah.
It's been quite the run for the Finnish scene here. Talk to me a little bit about, I guess, what is the major for ENCE? It's been quite a ride.
Going back all the way into 2016, it was our main goal when we first started with Counter-Strike, right? We wanted to bring Finland back on the major level, right? Because honestly, Finnish Counter-Strike used to be a big thing, but then was just absent for like a decade. It took us a couple tries, but finally we're getting there. Obviously, it's been a long grind. It's been a year, but it's just great to see that we've been able to find these new talented guys and find the chemistry. That's the big thing.
Now, 2018 rounded out pretty well for you guys. I think you capped it off with the DreamHack Open Winter win there, and that kind of cemented, you know, all the progress that you guys had made. You really showed face in 2018. Was there anything that was said during the holiday break? Was there anything that happened behind the scenes? Was it all pretty much, hey guys, you need to stay the course?
Yeah, I just think we needed to just stay on course and keep doing the things that we're doing, because I think the fundamentals are there. I think the team is playing like a really good brand of Counter-Strike that I really like. You know, they're obviously like players that don't have necessarily the kind of experience to play on these type of stages. It's going to be a big one for four of these guys. Everyone else, you know, except for Alu, hasn't played in this type of a situation before. So in the big picture, it's just all about running with the all the parts of the engine, basically, and keep on grinding.
Now, you say that, and obviously we've been spending quite a bit of time here in Katowice. In fact, we were there for the minors together, watching the entire process for ENCE. I know that has to be a very proud moment for you, but talk to me a little bit about what the feelings are like inside the team. I mean, these are young guys, minus Alu, of course.
Yeah, I mean, it was actually surprising to me coming here. I came here when they went 0-2, and I left and they went 3-2. So I might have been a bad omen being here. Good thing I went back home, right? No, I mean, it was surprising for me to see, considering they went 0-2 in the Legends stage, that they kept their composure. When I was talking with them, when I was with them, I couldn't see a difference. Like they just seemed like, you know, nothing's changed. We're just gonna keep on doing our things, and felt like that big game when they were 0-1 down in maps, 0-7 in the second map, and then got 7 in a row. It kind of just, something clicked.
Now, something clicking on top of that is the fact that you guys actually put out quite a bit of documentary series there. There's quite a bit of footage of ENCE behind the scenes. And I have to ask, I know that a lot of organizations do these sort of things. How edited is that? Is that as raw as it can possibly be?
It's not as raw as it could be. Obviously, it could be even more. But I think like the approach that I wanted to have with it is that I want to bring authentic feel of a team, the chemistry, how these individuals function as a unit, what their personalities are like, and if they have a moment where they're fighting with each other, if they're having like a bit of a situation going on, I want people to see, you know, that it's not always just fun and games. Sometimes it's about having a bit of a heated conversation. And it feels like, you know, we've had like 450,000 views through the series. So, I mean, it's definitely landed well with the community. And that's something I'm really, really happy about, because it's been something that I really wanted to do for a long time, to really showcase what it's about to be a Counter-Strike team.
Yeah, and I think that's a deeper look in that a lot of people take for granted. You know, I think there's still a majority of people out there that feel like these guys just connect to the server and they just run around and try to frag. And that's it. And you lose or you win, and that's the way she goes sometimes. But at least for ENCE, you guys have built quite the story over there. I mean, we've seen it before with Denmark and Astralis and how just alive a nation can become. But it feels like you guys have done the same thing with Finland.
We're trying to do our best, really. I mean, everything that we do behind the scenes as well is striving towards being as professional as possible, giving the guys the conditions, the help they need to progress through the ranks and become a force in the esports scene in general. It's not only Counter-Strike, but in the big picture as well. I mean, we have Cyril here playing as well in StarCraft 2. He was dominant last year in his own game, and the CSGO lineup has been doing great. So it's just constant work for us, and we just want to kind of push the boundaries all the time.
Coming into this sort of fame, this stardom, and now, you know, you find yourself here at the champion stage of the major. This is what it's all about for those guys.
I think there's definitely been moments throughout the last, you know, a year or so that they've been together where maybe a slight bit of complacency was there for brief moments, but then they were thankfully taken down in tournaments, you know, in situations that they would really realize that, no, we need to keep on working. And I think they have their head in the right place, which is cool to see for such a young lineup, a team with so little experience, that they're just having a good time. I mean, it feels to me like their approach for this quarterfinal, for example, is just, you know, let's seize the moment, enjoy it. I mean, we're going to be playing in front of like 10,000 people. It's the biggest stage we're going to be playing on since, you know, for four of them for their whole career. So it feels like from a mental standpoint, they're in a really good spot right now.
Now, if they had to look up anywhere, if they had to really, obviously with Alu being that sort of veteran and that leader naturally within the squad, is that how it all kind of unfolds?
It is. I think it's natural, really. I mean, he has all that experience, and the guys really listen to his thoughts. I think, you know, he helps a lot with like the fundamental parts of Counter-Strike, such as how do you react in certain situations. I think there's a lot of Counter-Strike knowledge and wit with the team. I think they're all pretty smart when it comes to CS, but I feel like that last few percentage that you need in these like high-quality, high-class Counter-Strike games against the top-tier teams, this is where Ali will definitely shine. I think he's the one going to be taking initiative and sometimes be the most vocal guy, and even have a game plan if things start getting a little bit rough. So he definitely is. He's the dad of the team.
Would you say he's also the inspiration of the team?
Has to be, right? I mean, he's the best-known Finnish CS player, I would dare to say, like, ever, right? And he's done a lot of cool things on his career. So I think he's a pretty cool guy to look up to when you're playing with him. And I really enjoyed back in the day when I played with him. I could tell that this guy's gonna be a star.
Well, it's been a long way since the Walla Walla Wasp Whackers. Now we have ENCE here, poised to take down Team Liquid, or not. Only time will tell, but for the time being, we need to talk a little bit about some of the inspirations going into this matchup. In fact, we have a speed session signed up for you right now. Let's take a look.
The players who inspired me the most, I would say Getrine and Forest, because I've been there for like more than 10 years competitively. They're still passionate as ever, and yeah, definitely, and they're really like good human being, I would say.
I'd never really looked up to an individual in a sense that I admire him. I have a lot of respect for those players who have achieved a lot.
Probably nothing. Jordan, he's probably one of my inspirations just in the beginning. But I think like as I kind of progressed throughout my career, I just kind of became my own person, I think. So I didn't really have an inspiration at that point.
I guess the first thing that comes to mind is probably just CS-wise, probably just Olafmeister back in the day and Fnatic. When I first started playing the game, well, when I first started going pro at CS, I looked up to him a lot. Like, he was the best at the time, and he was just destroying everyone. So yeah, definitely him.
3 players, Nico, Adrian, and Hobbit, and whole my team.
The player who inspired me the most would be Existence, since he's a great leader and I learned really much from him.
There were a few players, legends that I played with in my early days of CSGO, and this included Warden, Storm, Volcano, and XP3. It's like a really old team, and I was like a young guy, and they kind of taught me the ropes, and I think I attribute a lot of my success and growing as a player to playing with these guys.
Hello, I've been let loose in the audience, so I thought I'd go and dig out a couple of ENCE fans. And actually, they drove all the way from Finland to be here in Katowice today, and I imagine they probably didn't expect to be on camera, did you, Olaf?
No, we didn't, yeah.
And so what's it like for you seeing your boys in the top 8 for the first time? What? You're seeing your favorite team in the top 8. This is their first major.
Yeah, well, we knew it already about a year ago when this roster was built.
You knew a year ago that they'd be on that stage. Did you book your tickets then?
Yeah.
And actually, show me this poster, because you've got your T-shirts, but actually, is this from your printer?
Yeah.
You printed it out and stuck it together. That is dedication. What is it that you love so much about ENCE?
Well, how could you love full Finnish team who are moving that hard and playing that consistent on that high level?
And I'm going to come over to you, Egor, as well. Actually, your mate's got some pizza. Can I nick a slice? There we go. I'm just going to... Look, it's really hungry work interviewing Simple on stage. Thank you very much. Anyway, I'm going to eat this in a second, Egor, but I just want to ask you quickly, what's the prediction? What's your prediction on the score?
2-0.
To ENCE or to Liquid?
Well, to ENCE, of course.
Okay, you've got your boys back, and actually, that's probably my cue to tell you that ENCE versus Liquid is coming up next.
ENCE is unpredictable and dangerous. They have some really young talent. I don't know like what their style is necessarily. The only player I really know is Alu and Sergey.
Denied here. Oh my goodness. 1 versus 1 now. That is so sick from Sergey.
He's been playing really well recently, and they've been winning like the smaller tier tournaments, but it's still an accomplishment in itself.
Obviously, Liquid is a world-class team. They have been playing really good. I think they just have the confidence, and they just know that they are the better team on the rankings, so we just need to go with our own game and with our heads into the game and just hit our shots.
My team is just better individually. I think our tactics are more together and cohesive right now. Their factor, if they want to beat us, has to be either Alu or Sergey going off.
It's our first time on the big stage and first time on the major. We have nothing to lose here. We're just play very confident CS and not play scared, not think that who they are. We just have to show what we're capable of.
Whatever the fans want to cheer for, they're welcome to. We've been on both sides so far, and I think it just fuels us no matter if they're for us or against us. We're very confident like against a team like ENCE, and it should be up for a good match.
Vodafone presents the pre-match.
That's right, the Vodafone pre-match is now. We're roughly 1,400 kilometers from Helsinki. Those guys had quite the road trip on their hands, and so have you here in Katowice. We do find ourselves in the Celestian, but honestly, this is where you want to be. If you are involved in Counter-Strike, if you've watched it once or twice, this is where you want to watch it. The Intel Extreme Masters Katowice Major 2019 has more than heated up here in Katowice. My name is Trey Saranthus. If you just missed me on the sofa, I've actually found my way over here to the desk alongside two of the brightest minds in all of Counter-Strike, perhaps even all of history of Counter-Strike itself. I do have the lovely Sean Gares, always looking magnificent. Then we do have Chad Sponge Burchill.
I just got to stand here. We did a bit of a change, but I like it. I get a fresh look as well, so it's good from my position.
I like being pumped up like that, Trace.
You like
Thank
that? Sort of like that uplifting vibe right away?
Bring up my confidence.
Well, that's what I got to do, and I actually got to bring you guys up a little bit more because this matchup that we have on our hands, being Liquid versus ENCE, is one that's going to be sending one to meet Na'Vi, who we just saw take down the big side of FaZe Clan. Now, before we get any closer to what is the Live on 3, we're going to be taking a look into who is Liquid in their path up to this point. Let's check it out.
feel great after making it to the champion stage. I feel like we played well versus all of our matchups. Now it's time to focus on the trophy. I think it met our expectations. A couple of the games could have been cleaner. I think our Na'Vi series is probably the best one yet. We made a couple mistakes versus Nip and Avangar, but we cleaned those up and prepared for the day. Eric's a great mind for strategy, and so is Jake. They've really helped us kind of change our play style a bit, so we're playing a slower pace. We don't always have to rely on fast stuff now to be good, and I think it's working out really well for us. Jake, just a new aggressive player in the team, and that's what we needed. We have a lot of passive players, but all of us are good at being aggressive too. We just don't like playing aggressive sometimes. We're always confident versus Astralis. I don't believe Na'Vi is one of our tougher opponents. We just happen to play them a lot at events. I think Astralis is our main opponent right now.
Astralis, their main matchup, but that is going to be quite some distance away as well. They are on opposite sides of the bracket. That one played out quite well all on its own.
I think this whole matchup right here is the David versus Goliath, right? We use that all the time, but this one right now is you have a team who, at least last major, I considered the ones who were going to take